Darkcast Network. Come to the dark side of podcasts. We have cookies.
Cookies? Me love cookies.
Do you hate getting stuck in rush hour traffic?
Do you find yourself dozing off trying to get home?
Do you start daydreaming about the paranormal and forget you're sitting behind the wheel?
If the answer is yes, then don't wait another minute. Tune into the Paranormal Peeps podcast.
We are ready to entertain you.
Devil is on his way. Devil is on his way, motherfucker. The devil gonna make you pay. Fall to your knees. Devil is on his way. Fall to your knees. Devil gonna make you pay. Fall to your knees. Devil is on his way.
Mountain Murders is an Appalachian true crime podcast. Some content may not be suitable for all listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
We say fuck a lot. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Mountain Murders. I'm Heather.
And I'm a well-fed Dylan.
Hey, you look like a big old fat tick on a hound dog.
Oh, my gosh. We have some incredible sirloin tips and fresh vegetables.
I'm sure that everyone cares about your dinner menu, Dylan. People are writing in, what did Dylan eat today?
Somebody out there cares. I know they do.
Other people obsessed with food like we are.
We talk about food while we're eating food. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with us?
We plan a meal, though we're eating our first meal.
Yeah.
And the snacks we're going to have later.
We're like hobbits.
Gosh, I know. And I'm trying I'm trying so hard to get slim thick.
Yeah.
Instead of just fat thick, which is what I've been for like the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Going to the gym, exercising, trying to clean up my diet. And I feel like I'm not progressing as quickly as I would like.
Well, no.
Because then I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror and I'm like, girl, you still fat thick.
With 3 fat C's.
Not to mention that when I work out, I bulk up. I look like fucking Hulk Hogan right now.
Oh my God.
My arm is ridiculous.
Dude. She's like, I'm not very feminine. I was like, no, you're not. I couldn't even defend that point. I was like, your shoulders are to be envied by many men I know.
Yeah, I feel like, what's her name? Starla?
Yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah.
Rex Kwando's wife?
Yeah, totally.
I look like her, bud.
And I think your arms are bigger than mine. I don't know how to feel about that.
I think they are.
Because when I lost a good bit of weight there after leaving the mill, I thought I was a big guy, big muscly guy. There's many parts of my body, it was just fat right there around the muscle, dude. Like my arms used to be like Hulk Hogan big. The biggest arms in professional blue collar work, kind of thing. But they went on what my biceps non-existent. It's weird.
I got these John Henry arms, but I'm ready to go build a railroad with these arms.
She's going to take on the steam engine.
I know. That's the thing. I have to accept. I've come to realize, and I'm trying to accept myself and love my body at this age because I figure it's not going to get any better, right?
This is what I got.
This is what I'm working with. I will never have like a petite, tiny frame.
No.
I'm always going to look like my ancestors who plowed fields.
The tiny frame part of your life has come and gone, apparently, because I've seen pictures of you when you was a little itty bitty thing back in the day, and I don't know how it morphs into this.
Well, I also probably had an eating disorder.
Well, there's that, yeah, but it's still, how does it change your? It's like you've came out of you've molted into a woman bodybuilder. Hey, I'm here for it.
And people try to give you advice like, oh, well, if you want to build lean
slender,
muscle,
yeah,
it's like, lightweight, a lot of reps. It don't matter. I balloon up and I look like a dude.
Oh.
I look like a dude. And I have the short hair, so now I really look like a dude. So I'm just going to go with it.
A little strong Bobby Hill over here.
I look like Bobby Hill. I do. I've come to terms with this as well. I'm hoping maybe my hair will grow out a little more and I will stop looking like Bobby Hill. But until then,
no, look.
It's fine because Bobby and I kind of have similar personalities.
Yeah.
We're both really goofy.
So look, we'll get into the story because Heather has a hell of a story and there's a lot of it.
And I would love to get into being a magician.
But
so there's that.
Some days she'll be like down on herself, like, oh, I look this way, I don't feel good about myself. And I
It's
always,
like 95% of the time.
I'm always supportive. I want to uplift her. But one day she's carrying on, and she's wearing her Bobby Hill T-shirt that says, what does it say?
I'm a little worried about being a slut.
Yes.
Yes.
And she had the T-shirt on, some little shorts, just like he's
some
wearing.
green shorts that he's like wearing it on the T-shirt.
And her little fuzzy head's growing out where she shaved her head, and it looked. I was good with a straight face to defend her uplift. I said, "You know what? You do look like fucking Bobby Hill. You got the T-shirt on. It's like I'm looking at him." Ah, baby, I love it though. I like Bobby Hill.
Bobby turns you on
From King of the Hill.
I
If you
could
didn't know.
cosplay Bobby Hill. I could do like a sexy Bobby Hill.
Okay, so
I'm
here
just
we
kidding.
are.
There's nothing sexy about
I'm
it.
well fed, and I'm married to Bobby Hill, and
Yeah.
that's all that's happening in our lives.
You were pretty boring right now.
And I'm enjoying it though, because we're really just concentrating on ourselves. And I'm helping Heather start her powerlifting career, apparently, I guess. And I'm feeling great myself.
What, you know what? Don't
Yeah.
hate on me. I'm heading for the Olympics, bud.
I'm not hating them, but put those arms away. Quit showing your arm when I show my arm. You need to stop that. That's bullshit.
I'm sorry they call me the unit now.
I'm the mini split. She's the unit now.
It's true.
I'm conceding here on the podcast. Heather's known as the unit in many circles now.
If you need me to carry around some like 500-gallon
Jesus.
tanks for you or something, call me.
God.
Call me.
All right, Heather. So we don't have time for any other shenanigans.
We don't.
What story? Where are you going to take us today?
Oh, man, Dylan.
This is a
case.
banger.
This is a case. This is a case that has captivated me for a number of years. And I've kind of debated whether or not should we discuss this on Mountain Murder. But you know what? We're throwing caution to the wind. We're going to talk about it.
Okay. Well, that's going to work very well on the podcast.
And it's so interesting. So let's get to it.
Let's get straight
What
to
I'm
it.
saying is I'm interested in this case, bud. Okay, so I did a deep dive.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, smart ass. So let's get to it.
No, let's go. Let's go.
Casey, my name is Dylan. I have weak little arms.
Oh, okay. See, now you're going, man, fuck that. You ain't going to be personal at me on the podcast.
Oh, we gonna get personal.
Or people's like, that happens every day. She puts you in your place.
It's
Let's
true.
go. I'm here for it.
Okay, there, little scrawny man. Let's get to it. How could this happen? That I married you? No. How could this happen? When this case first hit newsstands, people wanted to know how a group of middle-class kids, most of whom had never been in trouble before, could carry out a brutal murder.
This story blew me away when I first heard of it.
Studies from 1981 to 1990 proved that American kids were killing more frequently than ever. 1 in 5 high school students reported being bullied on school campus. Among young people ages 10 to 24, homicide is the third leading cause of death, Dylan.
Wow. Damn. I did not know that.
Each day, 12 young people are murdered in the United States. As of 2016, young males are 6 times more likely to be victim of homicide than females.
These statistics are kind of blowing me away.
One of the main contributors to youth violence is drugs and alcohol use. A study in 2016 showed that over the last 2 decades, the suicide rate among youths increased 60%, while the homicide rate increased 20%.
So do you think the kids are just more violent, or they're lashing out in different ways, or there's more guns? I mean, what is happening?
I think it's all the things.
Oh, my gosh.
I think we could look at the lack of the 2-parent household. You have a lot more single-parent homes.
Yep.
You have the single parent working their ass off to try to keep the family afloat.
And then the kids are unsupervised.
So you have economic issues. You have the lack of supervision. Then you have, now social media, computer access, internet. I mean, all these things I think are contributing to these problems. And the fact that guns are very accessible. And that's nothing against the gun.
No.
But, it is pretty easy to get one. Legally or illegally.
And people showing out on social media. We had evidence of that on the Sometime This Week episode we just did.
Back in the 1990s, psychologists realized suburban kids were feeling the same destructive forces that had torn apart inner cities. Anger, despair, hopelessness, and no sense of the future. By 1981, 1 in 10 suspects picked up a murder charge. And by 1990, it was 1 in 6.
Damn.
So when you're looking at I mean, that's huge.
Well, I understand pie graphs and bar graphs. That's about all I understand.
Well, I'm glad you're contributing finally to the podcast.
And that is definitely a bad trajectory. If you get the graph together and show it to me, I can show you how that's not good.
Thank you. I needed your statistical analysis.
You see that little sliver right there?
Our story today proves that all the influences parents worry about are in fact taking a toll on our children. The economy squashes hope for the future. Disintegrating families have left kids vulnerable to trouble, and parents are too stressed, busy, or overwhelmed to help them out. Many times parents are dealing with their own issues, like addiction or mental health struggles. Social media is now increasing these issues like body issues, when so much emphasis is placed on physical appearance, distorting sense of self. You've got brutality in video games, movies, music, and news, teaching kids about violence without consequence. It's a thrill to kill kind of attitude.
Wow.
And as much as we want to say, oh, well, you can't blame, these things, media, video games, for what is happening, I think in some way you kind of can.
Well, look, as the technology progresses with these video games, they become more and more realistic. I mean, you have
these first-person shooter games.
You have 8-year-olds out there who have full-on knowledge of paramilitary maneuvering and the high-skilled training of our troops, the best trained troops in the world. They could go in there and talk about it, the jargon. They know the weapons. They know the ins and outs of the weapons. That can't be good. As it's got to, at some point, as it seems more and more simulated and realistic, it's going to start desensitizing you to a degree. And nowadays, people live through their phones. And when people put the phone up in front of them and record something, it's like they're detached from humanity. They can stand there and watch a woman be raped. They can stand there and watch somebody be beat, somebody be shot. I mean, there was one video, a guy was sneaking up behind another individual down the block with a gun, going to come walk right up behind him, and instead of screaming, hey, look out behind you, someone's standing down the block videoing it. I mean, that's disgusting.
I just want some wholesome content. And you know who has wholesome content? Mountain Murders.
It's true. We don't say fuck as much anymore. We're trying to do better.
Fuck that. We got fucking wholesome content for you right here.
Hey, you want some wholesome content, you son bitch?
Hey, bitches, you want some wholesome content?
Well, I'll give you a wholesome of my foot up in your ass.
There you go. Okay, Dylan, thank you. Marty Puccio's family moved to the Hollywood Hills subdivision in 1976. It was a middle-class Florida neighborhood with stucco houses, backyard swimming pools, and one of the best public schools in Broward County, Florida. Marty, the youngest son of Martin Sr. and Veronica Puccio, was nicknamed Loverbug.
Oh.
By his family. Martin Sr. was a salesman for a film company that processed movie film, which is pretty cool because I guess at some point Florida was trying to have sort of the Hollywood of the East, hence Hollywood Hills, Hollywood, Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were trying to compete, but it didn't quite work out.
They were trying to get the entertainment industry to kind of settle there or grow there.
Well, yeah, like, hey, you can come from the West. Come East. Make your movies here.
You can come down there and see that mouse and then see movies.
See the mouse?
It's Disney World.
Okay.
Mickey Mouse.
I don't care about that fucking mouse.
I don't either because I think Disney might be evil. Shit. Anyway.
Martin Sr., as I mentioned, he was a salesman. And Veronica, Marty's mom, she was a full-time mom. And she only took a part-time secretarial job at a doctor's office later, like once her kids were out of the house, in school. The Puccios, according to Veronica, wanted, quote, to have children and give them the best possible life. So that was always their goal. And she always wanted to be a mom.
Hey, wait a second though. Did anybody ever want to have kids and give them like the shittiest possible life?
I don't think we're supposed to admit it. I'm just kidding. Veronica was a charismatic Catholic, which is a movement whose members sometimes speak in tongues. Marty was raised going to church and often sang the hymnals. I can't speak today. The hymnals his mother practiced for a Christian ensemble. When Marty was 7, a boy named Bobby Kent moved 4 doors down. Not 3 doors down, Dylan. Though I know you love that band.
I wanna push you around.
Why is that song about domestic violence so popular?
That's Matchbox 20.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay.
It worked still.
My joke just went out the window, I guess.
I ruined it.
Kent's family were Iranian immigrants. His father, Fred, became a stockbroker, and the Kents were a family who expected to succeed and demanded the same from their son. Like Marty, Bobby was shuttled to various practices and lessons, soccer, karate, piano, like whatever was kind of cool for kids to do at that time. These were parents who put their kids in everything.
And that's such a dedicated parent. I mean, it really is, because that is a full-time work to get to all the practices, to financially keep up with everything.
Gosh, it's exhausting. Like if you have kids who are into sports, into clubs and activities.
And well, the parents have to be into it too, if you will.
Constantly just taxiing kids back and forth.
Man, and you go till like 11, 12 o'clock every night and just get up and do it again, you know? All these practices after school on the weekends, and don't even get me started on travel ball or something like that.
The Kents and Puccios afforded their children every opportunity. Like I said, piano lessons, karate, sports participation, just like whatever they wanted to do. And Bobby was a natural leader who was voted king by his classmates in a mock election. Marty and Bobby became inseparable friends, with neighbors often calling them the Siamese twins. When the boys got into mischief, Bobby was usually the instigator. He was an Eddie Haskell type.
Okay.
Just great with parents and adults, but behind the adults' back, he was a little shit.
We've talked about kids like that before, and it's infuriating for the other kids, because out behind the house, they'd be out there doing some old foul shit and getting someone else in trouble or being mean to someone, and then the parents will never believe it. Because in front of the parents, they're all, oh, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Cleaver.
Oh, and Bobby Kent is that kid.
He's a master of it.
He took a DNA test, and he's 100% that kid, Dylan. Now, his parents taught him, now we're talking about Bobby, the importance of saying, yes, sir, no, ma'am, just how to have these perfect manners and how to be a true gentleman around adults. Yet in private, he was a bully. He was not a good kid. He picked on everybody. We're going to talk about this, Dylan. Marty had enjoyed wearing capes and was kind of into like superhero costumes as a child, which is fun.
Enjoy capes.
But Bobby would make fun of Marty, calling him a slur, starting with a Q.
Let's just say it's a very common slurs used during the late 80s, early 90s, and I can't even watch that stuff now. It reminds me of how bad it was. It was so bad.
The boys were into skateboarding and surfing, and by 7th grade, Marty was an accomplished surfer. Older surfers at the beach took notice of his skills and befriended the younger boy. Yet Bobby wasn't as talented. The older surfers sort of tolerated Bobby because he was Marty's friend, but Bobby was never truly like one of them. He was never part of the surfer crowd.
So he was a hanger-on.
Yeah.
But which for Bobby, I'm sure kind of bugged him, because usually he's the center of a situation.
Oh, my next line. Bobby sensed that the surfers didn't like him, which he resented. In the neighborhood, Bobby was the boss and Marty was the sidekick. But on the waves, Marty ruled and Bobby drooled.
Okay.
He's not like this, Dylan. Once at the beach, Bobby told Marty to get him some food. And when Marty asked for money, Bobby punched him in the face. The other surfers intervened and were ready to fight Bobby.
Yeah.
Marty told them to chill out, that it was no big deal, but it was pretty obvious to Marty's surfer friends that, Bobby's an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, who does that? I mean, I would not hang out with people who do that.
No.
And I'm going to hit you back, fool.
Well, that's what is so interesting about this case today, Dylan, is this dynamic between Bobby and Marty. It seems so far-fetched for someone on the outside like me or you.
Right.
Because we're like, we would never put up with that shit out of a friend.
Well, and it's just, it's between two friends, but it's an abusive relationship. It's not much different than, a domestic abusive relationship.
Well, about the time that Bobby entered adolescence, puberty, those awkward teenage years, family members say he became assiduous in hygiene, washing his hands up to 100 times a day.
Oh, gosh.
He became just obsessed with the hand washing and grooming.
And this was Bobby?
Yes.
Okay.
His family viewed this not as a psychological issue, but as a sign that Bobby was clean.
No, look, you've got to realize that this is a little much, and there may be something else going on.
It was around the same time that the Puccio family began noticing changes in their son Marty. His grades began slipping, partly because he was skipping school to go surfing more than not. Marty repeatedly begged his parents to move out of the neighborhood, out of Florida, out of town. Like, just get me the hell out of here.
Right, he just was over it.
They never asked him why he felt this way. Marty seemed anxious about something, but his parents just assumed it was the pressures of school or being a teenager. They did notice Marty often showed up at the house with bruises, black eyes, scrapes, and cuts, but could never quite get a straight answer about how these injuries had come about.
You're not going to brush that aside if you're my child. I'm going to ask, what is happening to you? Is this happening while you surf? I mean, if so, then let me know, and I won't be worried about you as much if you're getting, tossed around by waves or whatever happens to surfers. But who's hurting you? Because there is a very specific way that you get black eyes, and it is only a punch for the most part. Yeah, you can get whacked by an object or a ball or something like that.
I remember getting
baseball.
Just nailed in the face with a basketball one time at practice, and had a black eye, a big old shiner, but it was from a basketball.
I took a line drive to the face,
Whacked
and
me
that
in the
might be
face.
what's
Oh,
wrong
man.
with me now. And not the only thing I took to the face, but
No, go on.
There's other balls.
I'm
involved.
waiting.
Yeah, you like that?
Maybe.
You like that? You know what? And another point I want to make. I'll be worried for my child. Who wouldn't be, right?
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
getting injured. But I was going to say I didn't go through puberty because I was born a man. That's right.
I think I just threw up in my
A
mouth.
grown ass man. The doctor gave me a lucky strike and lit it for me. He didn't smack my ass.
You ain't right.
He asked me for permission to leave the room.
Okay, you ain't right. Both sets of parents were relieved when the boys would go to separate junior high schools. The distance afforded by different schools helped to some degree. Yet by high school, Marty wanted to pursue surfing further. His schedule didn't permit leaving early enough to catch the good waves, so Marty insisted on transferring to South Broward High School where Bobby was enrolled. Bobby was a South Broward High School force, considered a popular student and class clown. A fellow student named Ashley Dunham said, quote, "If you saw Bobby in the hall, whoever was around him was laughing." She went on to say that everyone knew Marty as a tag-along or as a sidekick to Bobby.
The opposite, as Bobby, they
At
were
the
viewed
beach.
by the surfer friends.
Yeah, at the beach. Bobby was a serious student, though his grades were pretty average at best. Marty was considered more of a slacker who only cared about surfing. The boys had grown apart and developed different interests at this time. Bobby had become obsessed with pornography, both featuring hetero and homosexual sex.
Well, and that's not healthy. Just having being obsessed with porn, period, certainly doesn't matter the kind of porn.
So in this time that they had sort of, gone off to different schools and done their own thing, when they reunite, Marty takes notice that Bobby had graduated from magazines like Playboy to hardcore pornography, like S&M type of stuff, and more brutal. The more brutal, the better. That's what he liked.
Yeah. Editions of this yuck were very popular. You found in Bobby's drawer.
Bobby was sadistic and liked watching people get hurt. When he would show Marty a video, if Marty didn't want to watch it, Bobby would physically restrain him by grabbing his hair and prying his eyes open, forcing him to watch scenes that Marty did not want to watch.
And that's very, very odd behavior, in my opinion. To want to physically force someone to watch something that they don't want to watch.
And it was primarily when Bobby would put on a gay porn, and Marty didn't want to watch it, and Bobby would make him watch it.
Because Marty's not into gay porn.
Right.
I mean, it's no different than forcing some gay person to watch hetero porn they have no interest in seeing.
Right?
I mean, it's so weird.
By high school, Bobby some people just don't want to watch porn at all. They find it disgusting, I mean, everybody has their preferences.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I feel that way. I'm not into porn.
Why don't you just be quiet over there? You ain't fooling nobody. You a damn lie.
I don't even watch porn.
I don't know what you do, and I
I
don't
make
care.
it. Ah.
With who you making it with?
It's called solo porn. Yeah, me in a red cup. Just go on. Just move. I'm being goofy. I'm fired up on them beef tips. Has got me acting crazy.
The beef tips and the B12.
Yeah.
Now, by high school, Bobby had started working out at the YMCA.
Okay.
It's fun to stay at the
YMCA.
Yeah. So he was lifting weights and was into bodybuilding. Kind of like me, bud.
Oh, my God.
Okay? Bobby would envy.
You could kick Bobby's ass. He would have never gotten in.
See these rear delts?
This trouble would have never happened.
He wishes he had these rear delts.
You would have slapped Bobby around.
Bobby invited Marty to join him, and the pair worked out for 2 hours every day. Bobby was also using steroids, which he introduced Marty to as well.
And that's not going to improve Bobby's
temperament?
Temperament, no.
When the thin, lanky Marty started bulking up, his surfing suffered. He wasn't as agile, nimble, but kind of looked more like Bobby on the surfboard, which was kind of clunky.
Yeah, because you never see a big muscled up surfer. They're always kind of long, lean, and have a lot of balance and things like that. So I could see that affecting his ability, which and Marty was a pretty good surfer, right?
Oh yeah, like he was
very good.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's messing up something he loves.
Eventually, Marty quit surfing every day and was spending more time with Bobby at the gym. His surfer friends just kind of dropped him after a while because they figured, okay, he doesn't really want to hang out with us anymore.
Yeah.
Bobby exhibited explosive rage and violent mood swings, which often did not go well for Marty. Bobby would punch Marty in the face over a perceived slight. Marty came home with bloody noses, bruises, black eyes, but he didn't discuss who had beaten him up. At South Broward High School, Bobby enjoyed beating up special needs students.
Oh, come on.
He would hit, shove, push, and throw footballs at their heads. He got Marty involved too, and Bobby thought this was hilarious.
There's no way
This alone makes me loathe Bobby.
There's no way, even if I let this guy treat me like shit for whatever, distorted, he's my friend bullshit, how in the world could you ever get on board with picking or physically harming anyone, especially special needs kids?
Yeah, I know.
Because I would fight for them.
It's disgusting.
I would fight for them. I would make people know you're not going to do that. If you're going to mess with them, you're going to beat my little fat ass too. There's been more than once I shut that shit down. Back when I was known as the unit before I was passed off to my wife.
Marty continued asking his parents to move, and the Puccios explained they had jobs and a house in Florida, and that people just didn't run from their problems. So whatever it is, Bobby, whatever's going on, Marty, you're going to have to work it out.
Well, yeah, and they don't even know because they're not doing well. And I guess he's not being forthcoming either.
No.
It sounds like they've tried to get answers or what's happening, why are you this way, what's happening to you, and he's kind of not admitting anything.
Marty got into trouble at school for skipping and was suspended. His parents agreed to let him go to upstate New York where his aunt lived. Marty was gone for 4 months. Unfortunately, they thought this might straighten him out, but it didn't. He didn't really like it being in upstate New York, wasn't getting along with his aunt. Things just weren't quite working out. And when Marty returned to Florida, school counselors began calling the Puccios. He was disruptive, and teachers didn't want him in class. Marty got in trouble with the law as well. He got into trouble for trespassing, shoplifting, and possession of marijuana.
See, do you remember back in the day when a student was just way, way extra? They would just be like, you can't come, you don't come to school anymore. And that would be the end of it. You've gotten it spelled. You're not coming here. You can't go to school in this county. Figure it out. I think they need to go back to that. Because nowadays they're just like, oh God, what do we do with this kid?
Oh, this student's been punching the teacher in the face, but we sure can't kick him out.
He's disrupting everybody, ruining everybody's opportunity to learn and all this. What do we do? It's bullshit.
It is, but then you got the parents.
But the parents are some shit too.
Because let's be honest, they're all in denial. Their kids are, you ain't gonna talk to my kid like that. And even though their kid's a fucking brat. Anyway. I see those people like on social media and they'll be like, I'm a mama bear and I'll come down there and beat your ass. And it's like, no wonder your kid acts like a maniac.
Well, dude, like that video of that kid attacking another kid during a basketball game, and then the coaches come out there to separate them, and then that kid who attacked the other kid's father, like NFL tackles the damn coach into the wall.
You showed me that video. It was something else.
And people were just like, oh, I guess like father, like son.
I mean, it's like one thing to stand up for your kid when it's warranted,
Yeah.
but these people are just like,
wow.
I'm going to beat up a teenager because I'm going to beat up that girl because she broke open my son and hurt his feelings, and I'm a mama bear and I'll come kick your ass, girls. And it's like,
y'all get in the
you're
car.
a grown woman, like threatening a 16-year-old kid. What is wrong with you? When I see that shit, I'm just like, okay, trash.
Yeah, go ahead and roll back into the trash can.
Like, what is wrong with these people? No wonder their kids are crazy. Okay, so enough of my soapbox. Bobby had gotten a 10-year-old black Camaro, which, I mean, in the late 80s, early 90s, was a hot car.
Look, I think anyone who grew up during that time knows what model Camaro were. They were hot. And people, I mean, even if you didn't like it, you thought it was a nice car. You know what I'm saying? They had the little T-tops sometimes, and they were all oftentimes hunter green or black or white. And that was like your basic three colors.
A red, too.
And there was a red.
He tinted the windows and was interested in sound equipment for the car, but it was very expensive. I got a little tickled with this, Dylan, because I was thinking tinted windows and big sound systems in cars.
It was a big deal back then.
So of that time period.
Totally
right?
is. Yeah.
It's so of that time.
That's such enough. Like tinted windows, just, I mean, cars come stock, most cars with a tint, and you can get different packages. Back in the day, it was typically always aftermarket. You had to go have your windows tinted.
Yes, you did. And it cost a lot of money.
It was a big deal.
And then you went and got some sound system. I mean, I remember folks going and dropping like hundreds, almost thousands of dollars on like speakers.
And an amp.
Yeah.
I got an amp.
I got a Kenwood.
I got a kicker in the back.
And you're like, who cares?
Like, what? And then, look, I love music.
I'm like, bro, I got a tape deck.
I absolutely love music. I listen to music every single day, often.
Not good music.
Great music. Fucking awesome music, okay? But then you would get in these sets, and you couldn't even hear the lyrics. You couldn't enjoy the instruments or anything. It was just a bah, bah.
Look, when Dylan gets in the car.
Your heart's palpitating.
And he pulls up his playlist, and he turns on some Maroon 5. He wants to hear it.
Yeah, I want to hear the lyrics so I can sing it.
I know. You love Maroon 5. It's so cute. What? I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, no, I know what you're doing.
What are you talking about?
Acting like I got an Adam Levine body.
You wish you had an
I wish I had some shitty tattoos.
I get you some.
I only got 2.
I was going to say, you got a couple. Let's see. Bobby and Marty wanted money.
Son of a bitch.
Bobby and Marty wanted money to buy name brand shoes, sunglasses, and audio equipment. Got to get that sound equipment, Dylan.
Yeah.
So they started breaking into cars because they have expensive tastes.
And they have beer budgets.
They do. Using a crowbar or a spark plug connected to an extension cord, they learned how to shatter car windows and steal items. In 1992, Marty and Bobby were arrested for prowling at a senior citizens, kind of like a senior living facility.
They robbing the old folks.
In Hollywood. They were released without penalty due to their age, but it was Marty's second offense because he had been arrested for marijuana. So he was ordered to go to counseling. Eventually, Marty dropped out of high school. He seldom went to the beach, mostly just sat around his parents' house watching television until Bobby got home from school so they could go work out at the Y.
Hey, man, you want to go to the Y and work out?
My whole day revolves around working out with my friend.
I want to go to the Y.
I'm going to pump some iron.
And get some steroids.
Makes me think of those dudes that used to be on SNL. We're going to pump you up.
We're here, Hans and Franz.
Yes,
we're here to pump
you up.
That was a great skit.
Right? Because we're like 100 years old. Of course we remember that.
Well, I haven't thought of that in a long time.
Yeah, probably 30 years. Because again, we're old.
Jesus.
Veronica Puccio couldn't understand her son. She said, quote, "We knew he was having a hard time. We pretty much accepted it." Fred Kent saw Marty's academic failures as a huge red flag. Marty was dragging down his son Bobby. Fred also saw weightlifting as a waste of time. He discouraged Bobby from hanging out with Marty, and at one point, Fred threatened to move the family away from Florida, even going as far as listing their house, like putting it on the market. Fred was so serious, he nearly signed a contract.
Oh my God, Fred's going all out to damn make sure his kid doesn't hang out with the other kid, huh?
Eventually, Fred relented, and Bobby reneged on his promises to drop Marty as a friend. Bobby, in turn, actually spent more time with Bobby.
And see, it's funny.
I mean, Bobby spent more time with Marty. See, now I'm all confused.
No, but it's funny. Bobby's dad, he's one of those parents who thinks his kid's the shit.
Oh, yeah.
And that if his kids, if Bobby's having any problems,
it's someone else's fault.
It's someone else's fault. It's not the fact that his kid is a maniac and just a monster.
Oh, no, these parents have never once addressed any of the accusations of that their son was a bully or criminal.
Right.
Or, yeah.
It's amazing when, the kids with parents like this always are bad, or they act worse. It makes them worse because it's no accountability. You know, the parents are their bosses at the time when you're a kid. Your parents are kind of your boss, and they're not holding you to account. They don't
hold your feet to the fire.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, they'll be realistic with you. Be like, look, you're a fuck up. You know, you have all this opportunity. Here you are, and he's not. You know, these are all, which I was surprised I didn't realize. These are all middle class families. Fairly well-to-do, rather nice neighborhoods.
Oh, yeah.
Nice homes. They have all the things they need and want. And great schools in that area because they're supported by the tax base. A lot
of opportunity.
Yeah. And you're just jacking and you got a bunch of high school dropouts going around, sitting around smoking pot and screwing all day. I mean, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I want to do those things too, but, I also have to keep my house paid for. So.
Well, you're also, 30 years too late to be a cool kid.
Oh, I'm still cool.
Now you're just the cool middle-aged guy.
You keep pointing out that we're old. I mean, is that going to be what we call this episode? Heather and Dylan are ancient?
Well, you are.
God,
it's okay.
We are talking about like the late 80s, early 90s, and it was like 50 years ago. So,
yeah.
Jesus.
Okay.
Can
we move along now?
Let's go.
You've accepted your position in life?
I'll allow it.
You're going to the early bird special tomorrow. Shut up. I'm not arguing about it. Now be quiet. Let's get on with this.
But it's a good deal.
Shh. I know. That's why we're going. Let's see. Veronica joined a tough love support group. The other parents suggested that she come down hard on Marty. They told her that Marty should find a job and be responsible for buying his own food and groceries. Veronica agreed. She was pretty much out of options at this point. Now, what do you think about this, Dylan? Your high school dropout is at home, couching, potatoing.
No.
Doing nothing. Are you going to expect that child to get a job and contribute in some way or be responsible for themselves?
Look, I'm trying to turn you into an adult, and you've chose this other path for yourself, and I was keeping you up through the end of school was my deal I made with you, even though we didn't discuss it. And no, you're not. I'm not going to come home to someone just lounge, some able-bodied person who can do things, can make a little few bucks. You're at least going to have a part-time job, and I'm going to sign some very small bill, just a little bit of responsibility, be it the cable bill or whatever. And you're going to help out around here. You're going to expect you to do around the house. I don't want to be. I just can't come home to someone who's been chilling all day, every day, while you're out trying to work.
This is what I do. You come home and you just catch me. I'm like flexing in the mirror. I've turned into you.
You're stupid. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I think it would get old if you're not going to be in school, then get a job. I'm not going to take all your money or expect you to pay my bills, but you're at least going to look after yourself.
The relationship between Bobby and Marty grew more intense. Bobby's pornography interest was something else. It was next level, Dylan. And he told Marty they should make their own pornography, which they could sell to sex stores in Florida.
Is that how he thinks the industry works? That people just go out and randomly make a video and then take it to sex stores and sell them? Okay.
That is Bobby's business plan.
That's his production studio's plan?
Yes. It was a surefire way to make a lot of money.
Bobby's Dick House is the name of his production studio.
Bobby was especially interested in making gay porn. He told Marty they should find an actor, someone to perform in front of the camera. While still enrolled in high school, Bobby and Marty had begun hanging out at the Copa. It was a gay nightclub between Hollywood and Fort Lauderdale. When they got the idea to produce their pornography, Bobby suggested that they act like a gay couple and go to the club, and that's how they would find an actor for their movie.
Hey, this kid's going places. I mean, his acumen for business, geez, is number one.
Filmmaking.
Yeah.
He's an auteur.
That's how you just find actors are there. You just have to go find them.
Yes.
They're everywhere.
Yes. People are just dying to be in your porno. Your homemade porno.
You want to sell out of the trunk of your Camaro.
Your amateur porn that you're making on like a VHS video camera that, make sure that you don't film it over grandma's 90th birthday party.
You're re-recording over the family Christmas. Yeah. Because you reused tapes back in the day.
During an outing at the Copa, Bobby ordered Marty to enter into an amateur strip contest. Marty didn't want to do it. However, Bobby threatened him, as usual. Marty nervously got on stage. At first, he felt ashamed and shy, but then pretty soon, Marty was kind of into it. He secretly enjoyed the attention. I mean, guys are stuffing dollar bills in his undies.
And that makes you feel good. That makes you feel good.
And he's like, okay, they're, kind of encouraging him. He's getting the hoots and hollers.
Yeah.
Holla.
Hey, watch this big guy.
Bobby liked the wads of cash that Marty was making. Yet soon after, Bobby became convinced that Marty was gay and started beating him up.
See, I don't understand this. I don't even know what to say. The inside of Bobby, he seemed to, at the very least, be bisexual. He enjoyed watching gay porn. He didn't mind attention from men in various ways. And he also seemed to like females as well. But why do you have these guys like this that are act like they hate people who are gay, but they seem to be in some degree into it. But it's like they can't admit it to themselves or something. Like, how in the world would you, if you force me by prying my eyes open like I'm in fucking Clockwork Orange, right? And force me to watch gay porn while you maniacally, enjoy making me watch it, and then get mad at me because you think I might be a little bit gay. Those mental gymnastics don't add up for me. I don't get it.
Well, Dylan, it's funny you say that because Bobby would force Marty to watch gay porn and then turn around and call him gay and want to beat him up for watching it.
My God,
and be like,
dude.
He liked it after he held Bobby held him down and made him watch it.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It's really strange. Bobby would hit Marty in front of other guys, too. In one incident, Bobby ordered Marty to go play with the family's Doberman, which was a vicious attack dog, and Marty left bloody. Like, this dog ate his ass up.
Marty, dude, you deserve a better friend than this.
Through a Copa acquaintance, Bobby and Marty were introduced to a 42-year-old unemployed computer programmer named Larry Schaefer. Schaefer had only recently began exploring his sexuality as a gay man. Bobby and Marty thought Larry could be their performer for this gay porn, and Schaefer was kind of attracted to Marty and merely tolerated Bobby.
So this is the actor they've been looking for.
Yeah.
And this unemployed computer engineer didn't even know that he was a gay porno actor.
He was a star.
Right.
That a star was born.
It was being born right now in front of our eyes.
No, but it seems like a lot of people are kind of like, okay, Marty's cool. And then they're like, okay, when they meet Bobby.
God, this would happen often to me when I went places with my ex. Because I'm like funny, friendly, and people are like, oh, you're cool. But she's got to go. She had so many doors closed for
She's
me.
not invited.
She's like Bob Fury. She ruined so many good times in my life. My cousin, Bob Fury.
The boys would take money from Schaefer in exchange for Marty agreeing to phone sex with him a few times a week. Sometimes Bobby would beat up Larry, punching him in the face. Marty would distract Larry while Bobby stole from his apartment. So these teenagers are like beating up this grown man, taking money from him, robbing his apartment.
This is some foul shit they're into.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't just a boys being boys. I mean, this isn't kid shenanigans.
During this period, Marty and Bobby denied being gay. They claimed hanging out at the Copa, messing with Schaefer, and watching these movies was part of a fun game. They called it gross out stuff.
Oh. We're just going to go do some gross out stuff. And you know what? At the end of the day, the gay community don't even want y'all. Y'all are being assholes. You see what I'm saying? Like, they don't need you. All right?
I agree.
Especially Bobby. You know, I think Marty could maybe be okay away from Bobby. But around Bobby, he's like his lapdog. He does whatever he says. And Bobby's just a piece of shit.
Finally, Larry agreed to star in their movie, Rough Boys.
Wait, look. Their branding's, now that's pretty good.
That's how rough boys roll. Stop.
Drop. Get your penis out. Stop.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I got a Glock under my penis.
That's how rough boys roll.
Yeah.
All right.
So, recorded with a camcorder, the same one that filmed your cousin's quinceañera, Larry strips naked and plays with a dildo. Like, that's basically the movie, is like, he's just waving around this dildo.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
Pretty basic.
There's some people into that.
Well, no, they're not. Marty can be heard in the background urging him on, like, oh, yeah, put that thing up there.
Yeah.
I guess wave it in the air.
That's called direction, Heather.
Throw your hands in the air like you just don't care.
He's a director.
Put your big dildo in the air. Shake it around.
Yeah. Yeah. Now rub it between your toes.
It's freeing. It's freeing when I shake it in the air. Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Look, nobody wanted to buy this movie, which we're using that loosely, movie.
Heather forced me to make a video just like this. I'm going to admit this in public now.
You wish. Because it was boring. It was poor quality. It had no editing. And it was just ridiculous. When they took this to the video store, they basically got like laughed out of the adult store.
Well, look,
people were like, this is fucking stupid.
We both know that my video would sell. Because I'll be way better than Larry at it.
Do we?
Yeah. I'll be like, hey, guys. Yeah. Won't you come on over here and let me show you something? Yeah. Just like that.
Call Before You Come, Dylan.
Oh, that's a good title for the sequel to my movie.
Don't just pop on over out the blue.
Stop, you all over songs today. Oh, I would call it One Night in Dylan. You know, it'd be the name of my first release.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Paris Hilton. Yet the boys were very proud of their hit, often showing it to teenage girls who came over to Marty's house when his parents were at work.
Dude, I mean, is this how you hit on chicks?
Let me show you this movie we made.
Let me show you this.
It's just a home video that's really terrible.
It's a shitty home video. It doesn't even matter about it being gay or not gay or any of that.
Well, it's not even really that sexual. It's just like a naked guy like waving a fucking toy around. I mean, come on.
While Marty goes,
this is so lame.
While Bobby goes, yeah, do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like dumb. I've seen actual like footage of this.
Of the real video?
In like I watched some true crime shows and there was a clip.
Yeah.
And it's absurd.
I did see part of that clip.
So, I mean, it's just cheesy and like horrible. And who in the hell would buy this?
Larry's not
Nobody.
a good actor. He's not a good actor.
Bobby was earning pretty decent grades. He spoke to Fred Kent about attending community college. Fred told Bobby he needed to get a job, so he went to work at Publix grocery store in the deli. Bobby got Marty a job there too. Fred Kent's ambitions were for his son. They were beyond a part-time job. Like, this was not, meeting his expectations as a parent.
Bobby, you could be a big porn director.
Fred began discussing the possibility that Bobby could become a businessman. A businessman.
We need to get you a business.
Fred's...
You're going to go to business school and you're going to have a business. Like, no idea what the business is or what it does. Just a business. What do you do for work? I'm in business.
I know. Who is he? Patrick Bateman? I just have a card that says
business.
Bobby, businessman.
Businessman.
Fred, noting Bobby's main interest was tinkering with car stereo systems, suggested that perhaps they could go into business buying a car stereo and window tinting business.
Now that's actually a business, and it was actually a fairly hot sector back in the day. There was a lot of those.
Yeah.
A lot of almost too many of those.
I'm going to open up a tanning bed right now.
Yeah.
Fred would later say, quote, every time I said, son, if you want to go into business, you want me to open a place up, he would say, can Marty come work for us too? Because I'd like him to be with me.
That's not how business works, son.
Fred was worried about his son's future. He was concerned that Bobby would screw up his life, fall out of the middle class, and end up a loser like Marty. But what Fred didn't know was the darkness in Bobby or what awaited him. Like he doesn't know this other side of his son.
Right.
Bobby, now convinced and paranoid that Marty was gay, wanted him to start having sex with girls to prove he was straight.
While he holds his dick. Because that's how gay Bobby's gay. Okay?
Hey, man, to prove you're not gay.
He seems to have a little bit of self-loathing or something happening here. I'm not quite sure what it is.
The only
He's
way
very closeted.
you can prove that you're not gay to me, man, is if you finish on my face, okay? And if you don't like doing it, if I believe that you didn't enjoy it, I'll know that you're not gay, okay? Now get started.
Look, I'm going to have sex with you. And if you don't like it the first time, we're going to try it a second time.
Yeah.
And if by the third time you're still not into it,
Then we're going to try it one more time to make sure.
Exactly.
What the freaking hell, dude?
Bobby would pick out girls for Marty. Like he would tell him which girls he was allowed to talk to. And usually they were the overweight ones.
Okay.
Like he would usually pick who he thought was, he'd laugh and be like, oh, I'm picking you the fat chick. Or, maybe someone that was the less attractive of the group.
Okay. Well, he's always trying to go for what he considers to be the most attractive, I'm sure.
Once Bobby graduated from high school, he and Marty spent time together at work and then at the gym. So it's just like nonstop, these two.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
18-year-old Lisa Connelly lived with a single mom in a modest townhouse. She was considered a sullen girl with low self-esteem who battled insecurities about her weight and appearance. Lisa had done well in school, earning A's and B's. But she started skipping school by 11th grade, and when she was 17, her father sent Lisa money, which she used to buy a 1986 Firebird.
Dude.
Vroom, vroom.
That's a Pontiac, y'all.
She got a job working at a dry cleaner, then dropped out of school after getting into trouble for skipping classes. The car was wrecked, and she didn't have the money to repair it, so then she was stuck with no car, no job, and no high school diploma.
And no options.
Lisa had known Alice Slay Willis, Allie, since they were in school at St. Bernadette. So since they were very young kids. Allie was the wild one. She had wealthy parents who spoiled her with a new 5.0 Mustang.
Oh my God, dude. That was the bomb back in the
With
day.
the rag top down so her hair can blow.
Gosh, a lot of those are fire engine red. You remember that car?
Oh, yeah.
With like the covers over the taillights.
Bud had that, that classic 5.0, the red convertible Mustang back in the day.
Yeah.
And so I remember being 12, 13, 14. I'm like, whoa.
Dude, God must be cool.
Can we take Jody's car for a ride? And he'd be like, yeah, I'll come get you. And I'd be like, whoa, I got to go ride in this cool car. Yes. Simple pleasures.
God, you's poor, ain't you?
I'm poor, ain't I? Allie always had money and credit cards, which she used to buy expensive clothes for her friends, to rent hotel rooms so they could party, and hire limos to drive them around town.
Damn, man, these kids had to have it better than I have it now. So thanks.
Allie wore revealing clothing, often leaving little to the imagination. So at the age of 12, Allie started drinking and having sex. She ran away from home, and eventually her parents moved from Fort Lauderdale to Palm Bay, hoping that a change of scenery might do their daughter some good. On October 26th of 1989, when Allie was 14, she and a girlfriend ran away with two older boys. They were 18 and 19.
So dangerous.
To Miami. But the boys were members of the Zulu street gang. Instead of driving them to Miami, the boys took them to a desolate interstate overpass where they sexually assaulted the girls at knife point. The girls were forced to play a game in which they had to strip off their clothes, and when the girls were naked, the teenagers beat them viciously and robbed the girls. The boys took turns sexually assaulting them, and this was just a horrific
Man, it sounds horrible.
incident. Later, at a gas station, a police officer noted these two young teenage girls in the back seat of this Dodge Duster and that they appeared to be kind of cowering and scared. And that's when the officer placed Nigel Rambaran and Diego Molina under arrest. They later pleaded guilty to sexual battery with a deadly weapon, armed kidnapping, assault, and robbery. Rambaran was given 18 years in prison, while Molina was sentenced to 12 years in prison.
Well, at least they got some damn justice there, because, you know, hell, they don't hardly want to put someone in jail who abuses women. I mean, shit.
Allie was so terrified after this ordeal, she nailed blankets over the windows at her parents' house. She was afraid there would be retaliation because of the gang affiliation. She didn't want anyone to know where she slept in the house. After the sexual assault, Allie switched high schools because of the rumors that followed. She had massive anxiety about going to this new school and eventually just dropped out. At home, Allie's behavior became increasingly concerning. She screamed hysterically, threw furniture, threatened her parents. They took her to therapy, but never mentioned that she had been raped.
That's probably something that the therapist needs to know.
As a matter of fact, her parents never discussed the rape at all. It was like it just didn't happen.
This poor girl who's been through this horribly traumatic event. It's going to affect you for the rest of your life. It's honestly, all you can do is hope to make it a little bit less bad for you. It never goes away, I'm sure. And to have parents who have their head in the sand like that and don't want to, you know, face something or have a hard conversation or have feelings with you, it's just, I feel so bad for her.
Well, eventually, Allie got pregnant. She married the child's father, Michael Willis, and they lived for a short time at her parents' house. The marriage didn't last. Allie's parents took over caring for her young child. The Slays denied Allie very little, often overcompensating by giving her credit cards and cash, which she used to buy these lavish items. Allie drove a nicer car than her parents. The Mustang made it easy for her to make the 3-hour drive to see her friend Lisa. I was thinking about this earlier, about Allie having this like brand new car that's like way nicer than her parents' cars.
That's weird.
And I remember I went to college with this girl, and her parents, they didn't have a whole lot of money. I mean, they were not like a wealthy family by any means. I mean, they were definitely like lower middle class people. No judgment. Hey, I was barely lower middle class.
I don't think there is. I think I was just poor.
Well, yeah.
I don't think I was poor middle class.
But in our friend group, everybody was kind of like, when her parents went out and bought her, like, she had a BMW that was pretty nice.
Okay.
And then her parents went out and bought her a brand new car. Like, I think it was after our first year of college. And, you know, her parents didn't really have money. But this girl, she always had, like, her parents spent so much money on her, even though I knew they couldn't afford it.
Right.
And I just thought that always was odd to me.
It is odd. And even as I wouldn't want, if I was wired like I am now, I would not want my parents to do that, put that much into me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To take away from things they would like to do or have to make me have all this stuff. I wouldn't be comfortable accepting all that from them.
Yeah.
But maybe if you're raised that way, you're not going to think that way.
Yeah, I just remember even as a young person thinking like, that's
kind of weird.
Kind of like weird to me. And I thought it was weird that she was so willing to be, that she demanded these things, knowing good and well her family couldn't really afford.
Or it's going to put stress on them to afford it.
Yeah, I don't know. I always thought that was odd.
No, dumbass. Hey, whoever you are.
Hey, I'm sure her parents did what they wanted to do.
It's their life, Heather. Let them live it.
It is. But I'm just saying, as a young person, I thought it was odd.
Heather was like, what the hell?
And I thought it was kind of like, I guess I just thought it was bratty.
Well, it sounds like you're not the only one that thought it was odd.
No, other people were kind of like, come on. You don't have to have a brand new car. Like your other car, your BMW is perfectly fine.
So she had the BMW, and then they went out and bought her a new car?
A brand new car.
Look, but you're at college, and you're still here with us, with all the regular cars. And what are you even accomplishing with your big, nice car? You're in college, dude.
Yeah.
Calm down.
They bought her a brand new Pontiac Sunfire, which was kind of a cool car at that time.
Pontiac was doing the damn thing back in the day. You know, I wanted a Pontiac Grand Am.
I know you did.
And there was one that was like a sports edition. Fuck, dude. Or was a Pontiac, was it a G5? Holy shit, dude. I would take one of them right now.
Was it a G6?
It was like a really fast.
Was it like a cheese stick? Like a cheese stick?
It was nothing like that. No, but it was like luxury, but sporty and
I think
fast.
that was the G6.
And it had like
bud.
a big motor in it and stuff. Dude, it growled. It was like... It was purring.
I've just never cared. I was driving
I don't
around
know
my
what's happening.
my 15-year-old Honda Accord,
Shit,
and
dude.
I was fine with that.
I have none of that. I was poor, ain't I? I didn't have none of that. I had my 78 Monte Carlo I bought for $700, and I loved it because I bought it.
During one trip, Allie had no place to stay, so a mutual friend suggested that she call a guy named Tom Hildebrand, who was a part-time boat captain with no boat.
Who is it? Captain Ron?
Hildebrand ran an underage teenage prostitution ring catering to wealthy men. Some of the men asked for girls as young as 9.
So he was at the head of a pedophilia ring.
WTF, yes. Absolutely, Dylan. These men wanted good girls from nice neighborhoods and families, girls who could have been their own daughters.
Jesus.
Tom kept 40% of the money. 59-year-old Tom kept stables of young women and girls who wanted to earn spending money, and he would run these ads in the Sentinel Sun newspaper for over 2 years before getting busted.
That's scary.
So Allie Willis started working for Tom Hildebrand after she went to crash at his house one night. She would later tell Oakland Park Police that she earned up to $150 per session. Hildebrand coached Allie on how to turn tricks when she was only 14 years old. During the summer of 1992, Allie visited Lisa. They made a trip to Dania Beach to a shopping mall so that they could buy a swimsuit for Lisa. Lisa had images plastered on her walls of unattainable beauty, like male and female models. She dreamed of landing a hunk or a stud boyfriend.
Okay.
With rippling muscles.
Oh, and a lot of money.
Like Chippendale kind of guys.
Okay.
I guess. It's funny, back in the 80s, that was like a thing. Like that hunk, that stud with the big muscles, the beefcake guy.
Yeah.
That was like hot back then.
Well, yeah, there was always a beefcake guy in every movie. He would have like the half shirt on,
Yeah.
and he had the super fake tan.
Little shorts.
And the tiniest shorts. And like a blonde mullet or something to that degree, usually.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that big, beefy, muscular, like, I don't know, that image is kind of maybe fallen by the wayside a bit. I don't feel like that's pushed as much as it used to be.
Yeah, I know. And that means my body type's falling out of fashion, basically, is what you're saying.
No, people love a dad bod.
I have a daddy bod.
It's
different.
I like your thick with 3 C's body.
Baby.
Yeah, pork, the other white meat.
That's right.
And then there's Dylan.
Just put some sauce on me and have a bite.
I was gonna go for the dry rub.
Oh yeah, baby.
I'm gonna rub you dry.
There you go. Okay, this is a professional episode today. It feels very good. And you can tell that no one has any input on what we say or control. You can tell that, yeah? This is very independent.
No, this is not scripted. Okay, so here Lisa is. She wants a big old stud boyfriend, right?
Okay.
Big old hulking, like muscles. Like she wants Patrick Swayze as he's auditioning for the Chippendales.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at Chris Farley and she's all looking at Patrick. Exactly. And Allie encouraged this by telling her, if you want to meet boys, we got to hit the beach. That's where all the hot stud surfer dudes are going to be.
Well, that's true.
Is it, Dylan?
I mean, I'm guessing.
You weren't at the beach.
Well, I didn't live near the beach.
That's right, baby. You was at the buffet.
I didn't even get to see the beach.
I walked up to you and was like, you going to pour some gravy on that?
You want to put some cheese on there?
You want the yeller or the blue?
I'll tell you what you do. You take that chicken tender and you go over that chocolate fountain over there and you just dip it in that chocolate. Oh, my God.
When I'm hormonal, that actually sounds like it would be satisfying.
Oh, I've been up in. Hey, look, I've been up and around a time or two as a younger person,
I bet you have.
and I was putting all kinds of stuff in that chocolate fountain.
You look like you look like you've been putting something in a chocolate
Like
fountain.
you ever had chocolate biscuits, man? It was so good.
I put a cucumber in the chocolate.
Hey, this chocolate really goes on anything.
Okay, Dylan. While ordering sandwiches at the Publix deli, the girls meet Marty and Bobby. Lisa was instantly smitten with Marty Puccio, a muscular surfer who fit the bill. Tall, dark,
And hunky.
Handsome. Bobby told Marty, quote, ask the bitches to meet us at North Beach. We'll party.
He's so romantic.
He's got away with words.
Yeah.
He makes women feel like a princess. Bobby insulted Lisa by calling her full-figured and was like, Marty, you can have her. He was like, Marty likes the full-figured girls. I know.
He's such a dick.
He's such a dick.
And like he would never get any play with anyone if it wasn't for Marty. You know, because Marty's the one that people tend to be like, hey, he's pretty cool. A lot of the girls will be like, he's kind of cute and sweet. And then here comes Bobby.
This big old thick neck.
His big dumb head.
All roid raged out.
Yeah.
We probably shouldn't talk about the victim like this.
Oh, look, this is a special instance. Well, yeah, it's just tricky.
It's like Run DMC. It's tricky.
But I hate what...
Tricky.
I hate what happened to him because, I mean, it was, you know... But he was a dick. Okay. And he was a terrible person.
Well, can I get through the story so other people know what happened to him?
Yeah.
Okay. At the beach, the boys ignored these girls. Now, come down to the beach, we'll party, right? And then they just ignore them the whole time.
Tell those bitches to come down there and we'll ignore them.
Finally, when they were, finished surfing and ignoring the bitches, they asked the girls if they wanted to party.
Oh my gosh.
What does that even mean? Do you want to party? Like, is there cake? Will there be cake and ice cream? Because if that's the party, I'm in.
Heather's disappointed. She gets back to the house and there's just beer and cocaine. And she's like, where's the cake and ice cream and the streamers?
I thought I was getting a hat.
Yeah, no presents.
Noisemaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm no fun. What can I say? I'm like a child. I'm easily entertained with a noisemaker and a paper hat.
I have to take those away from you anytime you get anywhere near stuff
I
like that.
I love them.
God almighty.
I can't help it. In Bobby's 10-year-old Camaro with heavily tinted windows, they drove around smoking pot and, of course, listening to loud music.
Yeah.
At a store, Bobby ordered Marty to go inside and buy tequila. When Marty balked, saying that he only had $6 to his name, Bobby grabbed him by his ear and twisted it. Yeah. Humiliated, Marty went inside to get the beer, or to get the booze, the tequila, whatever they drinking. As they drove around getting loaded, Lisa thought Marty got more exquisite. So, the drunker she got, the better looking he is.
Hey, these beer goggles.
They had sex in the backseat of Bobby's car while Allie and Bobby fooled around in the front seat.
Yeah, I mean, people do that.
I guess.
That would never work for me.
I've never...
I don't want to.
...gotten into that scene.
I don't want to hear or see my friends like sex face and noises. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's not...
And the smells...
It's never been my jam.
Somebody's butt might smell or something.
Oh my God.
And you can't unsmell that, Heather.
Look, okay, Dylan. We get it. You don't want no funky butt loving. It's fine.
No.
Now, you don't want no funky monkey. We get it.
No stanky jungle for me.
When Lisa got home, she told her mother, Maureen, that she had a boyfriend. And Maureen wanted her daughter to be happy, so she was glad to see Lisa. Because, Lisa's usually she's a sullen girl.
Oh, she's like Eeyore.
She's all like sad and pouty. So, her mom's happy to see her happy.
Right. Just happy that she went and hung out with some friends. Seemed to have a good day. I'm sure she is not aware of all that happened as far as the booze and the smoking and the
sex, the drugs, and the
sex in the back.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, but she's just glad to see that her daughter seems happy.
Yeah,
and
once Lisa met Marty, she didn't want to go to work. Like, all she could think about was spending her time with Marty. Like, she had no life outside of Marty.
Okay.
That's not okay.
That's not healthy.
Maureen came home one day to find Lisa on the phone with Marty, and she was crying. Maureen overheard her daughter say, quote, "Don't ever hit me again." That's when Maureen snatched the phone and confronted Marty. She said, "Did you hit my daughter?" And Marty said, quote, "The only thing I can say to you, lady, is you're a pig and so is your daughter."
Oh.
Maureen slammed the phone down. She said nobody had ever talked to her that way before, and especially not one of her daughter's friends. She was stunned, as most parents would be.
And her daughter should be stunned that someone talked to her mother like that.
Maureen talked about sending her brother over to beat Marty's ass, but Lisa begged her not to do it. Because Maureen got a brother who, you fuck around, you find out kind of guy.
It sounds like he's an old tough one.
Yeah.
Old rough-knuckled guy.
Well, a few days later, Maureen started getting these anonymous phone calls from young girls warning her to get Lisa away from Marty. These conversations would be like, quote, Mrs. Connelly, please get Lisa away from Marty, please.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
that would become scary at that point.
If I was getting those phone calls, I would have to act.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Maureen told her daughter to break it off, yet the more she encouraged Lisa to end the relationship, the firmer that Lisa stood rooted in her feelings for Marty.
But I love him, Mama.
But I love him, Mama. Maureen considered sending Lisa to live with her dad near Lake Placid in New York, but Lisa resisted. Maureen was at a loss about what to do. I mean, her daughter was 18, but just shy of kicking her out of the house, Maureen just didn't know how to handle this situation. And it's tricky. I mean, she's an adult, but she's under your roof.
See, she's so desperate to protect her daughter that she would send her to live with a very large alligator.
In Lake Placid?
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, that's scary to be that desperate as a parent.
I don't know. I think some parents would gladly send their kid to Lake Placid, Dylan. I don't know. Maybe Bobby's parents.
But Bobby's parents would be like, we're going to go up there and open a gator business. That's what his dad would tell him.
They'll blame the gator.
Blame the gator.
It's the gator's fault. Maureen said, quote, you've got a one-parent family here. I'm out trying to make a living. It's not that I'm ignoring my daughter, but I had to go to work and I come home. We talk for a little bit. She goes to her room like other teenagers. They talk on the phone. You can't watch them 24 hours. I felt something bad, but nothing like this.
And that's a valid point she's making. This is exactly what you were describing. These single-parent households, you have to go make money. I mean, that's most households work like that. And unless you have a big extended family of some sort, you know, brothers, sisters, and mom, dad, or your grandparents, somebody around to keep an eye on them, you just have to hope for the best during the times when you're not there.
Well, it's true. Marty's behavior toward Lisa grew more abusive. He called her shamu, fat ass, and he pushed her around.
That's disgusting behavior.
Bobby encouraged this behavior by calling Lisa names too, and thought it was hilarious when Marty would insult her. Once Marty invited Lisa over when his parents were at work and Bobby was there, they forced her to strip naked, and Bobby grabbed a leather weightlifting belt and started hitting her with it.
And I got to say, those are very thick and heavy, and they're made out of, you know, real kind of rough leather. And it would hurt. It would hurt bad to be struck with any kind of force with that a weightlifting belt.
Then the guys took turns having sex with her.
But raping her is what it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean,
she
doesn't come out and say that. But
right. I don't think she went there with intent to have sex with both of them. And he's at the very least, Bobby's forcing himself, and Marty's letting this happen.
Yes. It's not okay. None of it is okay.
No, this group of kids really get kind of twisted up in the moment, in the situation, and in its very scary ways.
Lisa came to see Marty's behavior was like Jekyll and Hyde. He only acted mean and abusive when Bobby was around. Dylan, this is a crazy story. So once they were driving in Bobby's car, so it was Bobby, Marty, and Lisa. They're just out riding around, you know, because back in the day, people like to go cruising, right?
Yeah.
And that's when Lisa spotted two of her girlfriends, a girl named Claudia and another girl named Susan. And she invited them to come, like, hey, come get in the car. We'll all go riding around together. Well, as they smoke marijuana, Bobby is racing in and out of traffic, driving, you know, erratically, speeding, doing dangerous maneuvers. They've got the loud music bumping.
And you can't see out the tinted windows.
Yeah, and one of the girls became sick and threw up.
Oh, so they're kind of they're like herky jerking around. It's probably driving very erratically, kind of crazy, out of control.
And she's stoned, and it's just not working out for her. So she pukes in the car. And Bobby rages out. He pulls the car over. He's screaming. He's freaking out. One of the girls attempted to clean up the sick friend while Bobby's like pacing around outside the car. They are kind of in a residential neighborhood, and this girl goes over to someone's house where there's a water hose and starts trying to clean her friend up with a stranger's water hose.
Okay.
Right? While Bobby's just screaming and hollering and acting a damn fool out in this neighborhood. Now, eventually, Lisa comes over and tells the girls do not get back in the car because she overheard Bobby and Marty whispering, and tells the girls, Bobby will probably rape you. Don't get back in the car.
Okay, so y'all just stay here, basically.
Yeah.
You don't even know where you're at.
So a man hearing this commotion outside of his home, he comes out to confront these kids that are in his yard using his water hose, and then this boy's out here screaming and acting a fool, right? Well, the man was like, you need to leave or I'm calling the police. And they exchanged words, and the man kind of was getting more forceful, like, get the fuck off my property, basically.
Yeah.
Telling his wife, call the cops. And that's finally when Bobby drives away with Lisa and Marty in the car, but leaves the two girls there.
Thank goodness for their sake.
Yeah, no shit. Weighing her limited options, Lisa Connelly decided the best thing to do was get Bobby Kent a girlfriend. If Bobby was interested in someone, then he might leave Marty and Lisa alone. The way Lisa saw it, Allie was the perfect girl to keep Bobby occupied. She invited Allie down to Fort Lauderdale by telling her that Bobby was into some, quote, spooky shit, because she knew Allie had been dabbling in the occult and thought this would kind of pique her interest, which it did.
Yeah, but it's not a very good description of Bobby and his interest.
Allie agreed to the visit. She even told her mother that Bobby Kent, he may be marriage material.
Oh, because he's into spooky shit, Ma.
Lisa's plan was in motion. However, at Bobby's house, his behavior was abhorrent. Lisa willingly went into the bedroom to have sex with him, but Bobby turns on a gay porn, and when Allie didn't want to watch the movie, Bobby held her head and forced her eyes open and was like making her watch this porno.
Yeah, because that's normal.
And if she looked away, he would punch her in the face.
See, this guy's such a piece of crap. He has a girl who is going to have sex with him, have fun or whatever you want to call it. And it's about control with him. He doesn't even want to engage in just a normal, loving or, fun episode with a girl. He wants to do it exactly how he wants. He wants them to be fighting him to make,
degrade them.
It's all about power with this piece of crap.
Shame.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So he proceeds to sexually assault Allie. And afterwards, Allie storms out of the house. Bobby Kent was not marriage material after all, Dylan.
It turns out, Mama, he ain't no big movie producer like I thought.
Well, he does try to woo her with that.
He's a rapist.
Yeah.
He's a bully. He's an asshole.
So on Sunday, May 23rd, Allie filed a report with the Hollywood Police Department. She said Bobby slapped her in the face and threw her against the wall of a friend's house. So after she files this police report, Allie goes back to Palm Bay. The day after Allie bailed, Lisa's friend called police to report that Lisa was being held against her will. 2 officers arrived at Marty's house, but when Lisa answered the door, she said everything was fine. I mean, this just...
Poor girl. I mean, I hate that she's ended up in this situation, but it infuriates me when, especially someone young, when you have more options. I'm sorry, when you're young, you got chances to start over 100 times. I mean, it just, you think you should think differently about things. But I feel so sad when I see people end up in these situations. I know it doesn't happen instantly. It takes time, and you develop all the psychology that goes with being in an abusive relationship.
Well, no, this seems like it was pretty quick into their relationship.
Well,
they have only, at this point, they've just been together for like a few months.
So
you
kept reminding me that all this happens in a very compressed.
It's a very quick.
Yeah.
This
time
is all
period.
a very quick.
Gosh,
period.
girl. Yeah. He shows her a little bit of attention, but then it's instantly being mean to her. It's really sad.
It's really sad.
I feel bad for her.
Later, after the police came, there was this kind of situation. She called her mom, Maureen, for a ride. Maureen noticed when she picked her up that Lisa's wrists were bruised, but she claimed that Marty was just fooling around and she fell down. And her mother didn't ask any further questions. Maureen would later say, quote, I really didn't want to know.
She's just kind of, I'm not going to say over it, but she's just like, what the hell? Because she's told her daughter 100 times probably what she thinks she needs to do. And she's just not listening to her.
Instead, Maureen thought her nephew, Derek DeZverko, might be able to talk some sense into Lisa. Derek was an innocuous video game nerd who came home on time and begged his mother to stop smoking. He's just like a good kid. Considered a big teddy bear, he was gentle and kind. He managed to graduate from high school and worked several jobs. His parents never expected Derek to get into trouble. And Maureen considered her nephew to be like a good influence. Derek would stand for hours at a comic book store playing Mortal Kombat on just one quarter, and he was really good at it. Like, he would go play all day and have a group of kids watching him like, whoa.
Because he never loses.
Like, Derek's the master.
Derek is the man.
When Maureen asked Derek if he could help kind of keep an eye on Lisa and, keep her on track, preferably away from Marty, he understood why. Marty had a strange way of treating his cousin. He never picked her up for dates or brought her home. Lisa usually beeped Derek, who would drop everything to give her a ride. Derek didn't particularly like Marty or Bobby. The few times he'd been around them, the guys had invited him to watch gay porn. And usually Derek would just tell Lisa, I'm going to go outside and wait for you.
Yeah, because they're buttholes. He don't want to hang around them.
In early July, Lisa discovered she was pregnant. Marty did not accept the news well, Dylan. He ordered Lisa to get money and have an abortion. Marty also grabbed Lisa by the wrists again, but this time it was in front of her cousin Derek, who intervened. As they were leaving the house, Marty called Lisa Shamu. Now he's finding out his girlfriend is pregnant with his baby, and he's calling her Shamu.
Well, and Derek's a large lad, right?
Derek's a big guy.
He's a big guy, but he's a gentle, very gentle guy.
A gentle giant.
Okay.
He's just like a big teddy bear.
But he's a big guy. If you piss him off, you're going to take notice.
Derek told his cousin that Bobby and Marty were sickos. Lisa was freaking out because she needed money for this abortion. So she's walking around the mall asking friends if they have any money to spare.
Hey, you got 5 on my abortion, man?
That's like pretty much what she was doing, bud.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get money together for this abortion because I'm pregnant by this guy who treats me like shit. And honestly, that would probably be the best thing for her to do is have, because this child does not need to come around this relationship. There needs not be a baby around this kid or around Bobby or Marty. This is a dysfunctional relationship, a very new relationship, and it's headed nowhere fast. Nowhere good.
Convinced Bobby was the reason that Marty was mean, Lisa knew she needed to do something. Her plan to get Bobby a girlfriend hadn't quite worked out.
Yeah, because he raped her on the first night, dude. Bobby's not cooperating with your plans.
Lisa invited Marty to the beach where they discussed Bobby. Lisa asked Marty if he thought something was wrong with Bobby because he reminded her of the husband in Sleeping with the Enemy, the Julia Roberts movie.
Okay.
Because the husband was OCD.
Yeah.
And abusive.
Yeah.
Marty admitted that Bobby frightened him too. Bobby had bullied him since they were little kids and had been running his life. Marty told her that Bobby had threatened to kill him if he stopped being his friend. But Lisa pressed him. She was like, Bobby's mean. He disses everybody. He beats you up. He raped Allie, and he's really the source of all our troubles. Marty told her, quote, the only way he could be stopped was to be killed. And Lisa asked, what if we killed him?
Oh my gosh.
Marty responded, you're nuts, Lisa. You're totally insane. Marty added, quote, that motherfucker has picked on me my whole life. But finally, Marty was in agreement. Bobby Kent needed to die.
And so the plan is born, basically.
Lisa was the happiest she'd ever been in her whole life. She called Allie in Palm Bay to tell her the news. Allie was excited, but she truly didn't believe Lisa or Marty would kill Bobby. Yet Allie went to visit her boyfriend, Donnie Simonek, who was 1 week away from turning 18. She told Donnie about going to Fort Lauderdale to kill a guy. Just casual. I'm heading down to the Fort Lauderdales. I'm going to do some killings.
Now, this part of this group and this story just blows my mind how casually they talk to people about committing this very, very serious crime.
Yes. Now, at first, Donnie didn't believe Allie was serious. But she invited him to tag along. Hey, you want to go to Fort Lauderdale and kill a dude?
You want to go with me to commit capital murder? We're going to head up there, and then we might get some brunch afterwards.
Donnie was not down for the murder until Allie offered him some dope. And then he agreed, yeah, I'll come with you. She told him to bring his brother's survivalist knife. You may need it.
Dude, I had one. It was like a Rambo knife.
Knifed up to wifed up.
And the ends, it had a big ball compass on the handle. And it unscrewed. And there was like a little piece of fishing line and some matches and shit in there, bro. You couldn't tell me nothing when I had my Rambo knife, dude.
How awesome. Did you have a bandana?
Yeah, I had a bandana, and I had the little knife, had a little, almost like a plastic belt with it. It was a real knife, but it was cheesy as hell. I mean, it was
Did you get it at the flea market?
Why, how did you know?
'Cause I done noticed.
But man, I swear, after when I had that, I was like, nothing can ever stop me again.
You were John Rambo.
I was living one day at a time.
First blood.
Just like John. They should have left me alone because I felt like I could make it through anything, any circumstances in life, no matter what life threw at me. You were
standing at the bow of the ship like, I'm the king of the world.
I could survive it because I had my survivalist Rambo knife.
You're Beyonce. You were a survivor.
I cut firewood.
You're not going to give up.
It had a serrated edge. It was big, hefty. I could bang things with it. Jesus.
Moving on.
Okay.
Allie went to find 17-year-old Heather Swallers, who was Allie's new best friend.
What, Heather Swallers?
Swallers.
Wow, what a name.
Swallers was enamored with Allie Willis. When they'd first met, Allie took Heather on a shopping spree, buying her $500 worth of new clothes, and Heather had never experienced anything like this. She had grown up in complete dysfunction. Heather's mother, Jackie, was a raging alcoholic. Heather, her mother, and brother had lived in various motels with Jackie's abusive boyfriends. When Jackie got drunk, she would wake up her children from the time they were very young, Dylan. It didn't matter what time it was, 2 a.m, 4 a.m, to read trial transcripts. See, Jackie's father, Heather's grandfather, was a rapist and an alcoholic who murdered his wife with a claw hammer.
Oh, my God.
He kept her body in the house for 2 days, committing necrophilia during the 2 days, while 15-year-old Jackie was in the house.
Jeez, so she was being held hostage there with her dead mother's body while her father continues to defile it.
Yeah.
That's intense.
So Jackie would get drunk and then wake her children up and read these horrific
details of the crime.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
From the time they were very young.
Those poor kids.
Yeah. Allie had brought Heather home to stay in her room. Allie's parents were accustomed to teenagers kind of in and out of their house, and they walked on eggshells. Allie didn't expect to be asked questions about her guests. She would just like move someone in and be like, "Oh yeah, this is my friend, and they're staying here now."
And you're going to feed them. You're going to clothe them.
I mean, half the time she wouldn't even tell her parents. Her parents were just like, "Okay, there's like a new person in the house."
Well, that's her parents' fault for letting their kid act like that. I'm sorry. I don't know who to help. Man, I'm mad right now. My kids are grown. If they even thought about doing like that in my house, and I was not an overbearing parent who I was nice.
Well, I guess people parent differently, Dylan.
Man, I don't know who in the hell you think you are.
Well, like Heather, 17-year-old Donnie was also equally smitten with Allie. Both would do anything she asked. I mean, they followed her around like little puppies.
Well, and see, you got Allie who has these significant insecurity issues, it seems in multiple ways. She takes that money, those cards and such, and she buys people's admiration and affection. I mean, that's pretty obvious.
She's very generous with her friends.
Yeah,
sure.
but I think even though she thinks it's, I just want to make my friends happy, it has this deep-seated, almost like to want to make them like her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I could see that working.
I don't disagree with that.
Especially with if you take your friends come from maybe a lower, economical class or a lifestyle, they're not used to things like that. Some people's never ever went and bought. Hell, I think I've never went and bought $500 or $100 or $1,000 worth of clothes at once. You know what I mean?
Welcome to my Wednesday. I'm just kidding.
But that would certainly leave an impression on people, and they'd be like, "Wow, they really like me," or I can't believe they spent all this money on me. And then they're going to kind of cater to that person in ways.
Donnie, like Heather, was a drug addict and a dropout. He became Allie's slave, and she spoiled him with material items and sex.
She's sexing up Donnie, too?
Allie is, yeah. Allie's she's
Hypersexual?
yes.
Okay.
That's a good way to describe it. Promiscuous.
Well, it's her body.
It is.
Okay.
Heather had been admitted to a rehab facility in Melbourne, Florida after telling her mother Jackie that she needed help. Heather was addicted to crack. So Allie let Heather know she would swing by the rehab to pick her up and that the three could head down to Lisa's for basically a meeting of the murderers.
The murder party?
The murder
Do you want to
club.
go to the murder party with me? We're going to murder this guy.
Yeah.
And can you say it a little bit louder?
There's a great movie called Murder Party.
Really?
Yeah, it's like this weird indie film from like probably 12, 13 years ago or something.
Is that where all the people bring like a guest? No, that's something else.
No, but they all dress in costume. You just have to watch it.
Okay.
It's a dark comedy. Now, the more Lisa and Marty discussed the potential murder of Bobby Kent, the more enthusiastic Marty grew. The notion of life without Bobby Kent was wonderful. Marty couldn't understand why it never occurred to him to kill Bobby. Since devising the plan, Marty's attitude toward Lisa changed. He started treating her respectfully and especially appreciated her ideas and contributions to the to how do we kill Bobby discussions.
Yeah. I feel like you've brought a lot to this meeting today.
Yes.
And I really appreciate your input.
Right. I mean, Bobby's an ass. There's no denying. But just quit fucking hanging out with him.
See, that's the thing about
like,
it.
just stop.
That's the thing about ostracize the guy.
What is wrong with you?
Avoid him at all costs. When you see him in public, go the other way. When he comes by your house, tell your parents, that guy's mean to me. He's abusive.
Just tell him to fuck off.
Tell him to fucking piss off, dude. And he's going to have to. He doesn't control the world, guys. He's some goober steroid butt munch.
He's a fucking 18-year-old kid.
What's he gonna
Tell him
do?
to suck one.
He's going to drive his Camaro through your house.
I mean,
what the,
really?
Yeah, just stop going around
How
him.
about just beat his ass? Next time he punches you, why don't you
hit him
punch?
back?
Yes, just fight him back.
I mean, Marty wasn't, he
stand up to him.
He was a strong kid, just as strong as Bobby was. I don't know why in the world he just took this from him.
I don't get it. But I mean, come on, there were many other options.
Yeah.
Besides this.
This is ridiculous.
I'm like, Marty, get your damn GED and join the military, and then you can be thousands of miles away from him.
Well, here's an
you can
idea.
be on the other damn side of the world away from him.
Well, most of y'all get back into school and finish that, and you won't have so much time on your hands to be laying around doing all the drugs and such.
And sexes.
And so much drugs and sexes, guys.
It's excessive.
Yes, you have to have like Gatorade and protein bars and stuff.
Jeez.
Good Lord.
Enemas? Anyway.
What?
I don't know.
Shit.
Well, you was making it sound like we was needing supplies and shit. I don't know. I don't know what these people doing.
You're not ever going on a supply run for one of my parties or gatherings or anything. Because you're going to bring back coffee enemas? Like,
Maybe.
What are you doing?
I love coffee. I thought we were getting wild here. Oh, so you can throw out some crazy shit, but I can't say an enema? Look, maybe there's going to be butt play. I don't know.
Oh.
Got to prepare.
Well, hey, preparation wins wars.
Look, I don't know what exactly is happening at the orgy. Okay?
I don't know why. We say all kinds of stuff here.
I don't know what's happening at the high school dropout orgy.
Here at Mount.
Anything goes, bud. There could be a variety of activities. There could be lots of space for activities. We don't know.
The enemas threw me for a loop. I'm flabbergasted. I don't know what to say. All right. Wait a second. You want to give me an enema?
Lisa walked to a Subway near the Embassy Mall for lunch, and she bumped into her friend Susan Aubert. Susan is one of the girls who had been in the car. She's actually the one who had thrown up.
Okay.
And Bobby was being like a crazy person.
Yeah, and they got left
Yeah.
in some guy's yard.
So Lisa told Susan all about the plans to murder Bobby Kent. Susan laughed, thinking Lisa was trying to be a badass. She was just like, okay, whatever, Lisa, like rolling her eyes and kind of laughing.
And I understand that because as a young person, I think we've all seen that person who talks crazy, if you will, or, really way over the top. And you're like, yeah, sure.
They say enema and you freak out.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I'm going to give myself an enema later. And you're like, yeah, whatever. And they come back all enemaed up. And you're like, damn, bro, you lost like 29 pounds.
Look, I'm a professional filmmaker, Dylan. I know how it works.
No, but
I watch Boogie Nights. I know what they got to do.
I could see you not believing that they're being serious. Maybe they're just venting or blowing off steam or,
blowing somebody.
when
Yeah.
people screaming, you're dead, and, they don't typically really mean they
You're
want you
dead
to.
meat
You're
man.
dead meat man.
Nobody ever tells anybody they're dead meat anymore. Now, when Allie arrived in town with her two friends, Lisa and Marty met with them at Pizza Hut for dinner. Yum.
Oh, man.
The
the
early
buffet.
90s Pizza Hut. They sat around the table discussing ways to kill Bobby. Someone suggested a drive-by so that it would look gang-related.
I would suggest dropping a piano on him like it's in a cartoon.
They agreed that would be the best way, but it was a busy neighborhood, so someone might see them. Lisa suggested stealing her mother's gun, a .25 caliber Beretta 950 handgun, which was not registered. Getting the gun would be the first step. Back at Lisa's house, she produces the gun for her friends. They needed a place to commit the murder. Someone suggested Weston, an area where developers were dredging new channels and building golf courses and houses. Lisa suggested they lure Bobby out with the promise of sex, but Allie had another idea. In addition to sex, Allie thought if they told Bobby he could dog out her Mustang, he couldn't resist.
Hey, you want to go out to the quarry and you can rape me more? What the fuck?
Dogging
dude?
out the car meant driving it really fast and doing donuts. Because I was like, what the fuck does dog out a car mean?
Well, I've never heard that particular term, but I think I got the gist of what they meant.
Marty used Lisa's phone to call Bobby. He had just gotten off work at Publix and said he was tired. But with some urging and the prospect of driving Allie's car, Bobby agreed to go with them to Weston. However, when they arrived at Bobby Kent's house, Marty told him he was going to take Heather and Donnie back to Lisa's. Bobby would be alone with Lisa and Allie. And
Okay.
the three of them would go out.
Y'all go on out and dog the car out, and we'll meet you later.
And Bobby didn't much like the idea that Lisa was going to be the third wheel, but Allie was able to smooth this over, so the three of them go out. Now, the plan was the girls would lure Bobby out to Weston, and while Allie was seducing him, Lisa would surprise him with the gun and shoot him. However, Lisa panicked, and she just couldn't go through with it.
Yeah, because you can talk about murdering someone in light tones all you want, but when it comes down to brass tacks, I got to imagine it's not that easy. Is it, Heather?
Well, fuck if I know. Having failed, the girls returned to Lisa's house. Hearing that Lisa choked, Donnie said, "You need professional help." Yes. Hiring a professional hitman was just what they needed.
Well, they know one?
Well, Allie got on the horn, calling up a friend named Eileen Traynor, a girl she'd known who was involved in the underage prostitution ring.
Oh, shit, I forgot about her actually being part of a damn prostitution ring, so that's criminal.
Allie said she knew a hitman named Derek Kaufman and gave Allie the number. Derek Kaufman, a member of the Crazy Motherfuckers gang.
You know, finally, that's so...
He has a CMF tattoo on his arm for the Crazy Motherfuckers.
That's so refreshing that a gang has finally just been upfront with their intent and purpose. We're going to be crazy motherfuckers. There's no strange affiliation to an animal
You
or
don't
some
have to, like,
old
figure that
tradi-
out.
Yeah, we're just letting you know up
Because,
front.
like, MS-13, I don't know what that
I don't
means.
know. I don't know your traditions. I don't know where this comes from or what it means. I don't know about Bloods and Crips, ins and outs of being that. But the crazy...
I don't know what Yakuza means. I don't speak Japanese.
I don't need those. I drink my beer fast. The point is... yeah, you like that? The point is the Crazy Motherfuckers gang are going to let you know instantly what they intend to do.
Well, Dylan, Derek Kaufman, a member of the Crazy Motherfuckers gang, was well known to police and greatly feared by the middle-class white residents of Davie, Florida,
I bet.
where rich people had their horses and big houses.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny. You get a person in a situation like this where they want to act scary around people who've never been around scary people, and they buy it. They'll buy their stick. They believe it.
Kaufman had been a promising kid who kind of fell apart after his parents' divorce. His criminal record featured grand theft auto convictions, illegal weapons charges, and fencing stolen property. Derek liked to use his stepfather's Italian surname and connections to the New Jersey garbage business to convince people he had ties to organized crime. Because he'd be like, my stepdad's from Jersey,
And he's
he used to be a
in
garbage man.
He's in sanitation.
So he knows The Sopranos.
He knows about disposal, if you know what I'm saying.
Derek's stepdad was simply a nice guy who sold palm trees and landscaping services. When Eileen spoke to him, Derek initially thought her friends wanted to just get a guy beaten up.
Yeah. Scare him.
You just want me to go out and kick his ass?
Hey, you want me to send you a message or something?
You want me to bring a Glad bag? I got the big black ones for the leaves.
Oh, damn. You got like a
Or
contractor?
I got some white ones that we can just put, they're 13-gallon.
Derek, we're going to need to...
Because I know about garbage.
We're going to need a contractor grade. The ones that's going to hold in liquids and
My
such.
stepdad's Italian. I'm sorry.
He's in sanitation.
Derek was enticed by the idea of meeting some hot girls who thought he was a mafia hitman.
So he's just showing out for these people.
Yeah.
And to actually have someone call him up like, we need your services, we need your help, and we got some wet work we want to do, and you're the only guy that can do it. This is really fluffing up his little ego, I'm sure.
He's the Iceman.
Yeah, because...
Once Lisa contacted him, the group met at Derek's parents' house. Lisa blurted out that she wanted Bobby Kent dead. Derek told her, quote, maybe you should wait and think it over, because she'd really put him on the spot. Like, he was not expecting all this.
Wait, I can't just kill before I eat a nice meal, dude. I can't kill on an empty stomach.
Derek's stepfather, Ronald Esposito, will say that his tough guy reputation was a sham. He will later tell reporters, quote, he's just a big baby. He's never gotten into a fight in his whole life.
So he just talks the talk.
Derek decided to play along. He hardly knew Eileen, but had an image to uphold.
I wonder if he kept saying, come on to her.
If they wanted his help, he told them they would have to do it his way. Killing Bobby Kent that night was out of the question. Derek had guns, he assured them, but they were out on loan. A successful hit required careful planning and consideration, he told them. There were a lot of ways to go about it. They could set up a drive-by shooting, or someone could take him out to the Everglades and beat him to death. He said, quote, Weston would be a good place to dump the body. But he never, fully committed to any specifics about the crime.
Well, he's keeping his options open, and I do appreciate that. And he may indeed, in this story, he may be the businessman.
Lisa was growing impatient, and she firmly said, I want him dead tonight. Allie was eager too. She wanted Bobby dead by the weekend. She needed to be back in Palm Bay after all. Derek said he would look for a gun. With that, the group drove back to Lisa's house. So on the way back, according to Eileen Traynor, Lisa began having doubts, saying maybe Derek Kaufman was right. And Allie was like, no, I want him dead. And Lisa said, okay. So, I mean, one minute she wants him dead. The next minute she's not sure. Her friend's like, we want him dead. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's so wishy-washy.
It's so ridiculous.
If you're going to hire a hitman and you think you want someone taken out, are you going to be flip-flopping back and forth? This?
Well, no. I mean, if you went this far to, if you're at hitman status, you should be resolute in the fact that you want to kill this person. But they're so young and dumb in all of this. It's so ridiculous.
With all the talk of murder, Heather was getting nervous. She called her boyfriend around 2 a.m. back in Palm Bay, asking if he would pick her up. She wanted to go home. But they'd had a fight before she left, and he was still mad and refused to come get her.
And see, this is even more strange. Now, Bobby has impacted multiple people, Marty, Allie, Lisa, in very bad ways. So, I mean, I kind of get why they're so, so set on doing something or some kind of justice to him. But these hangers-on, Heather, Allie's boyfriend, they have no dog in this fight. So, at some point, this is kind of got to get to be cumbersome for them to keep carrying on with this bullshit about how, and they probably still don't believe that they're really going to go through with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's probably they're probably over it at some point,
Well, yeah, it's probably pretty boring.
Yeah, dude. Let's do drugs and drop out of high school again and have sex.
So, Dylan, by Wednesday, July 14th, Lisa and Allie decided to go with Plan B and not the morning after pill. This was actually just another plan. Since they couldn't find a clean gun, they would arm themselves with other weapons like a baseball bat and knives. And Lisa chickened out on using her mom's gun.
Well,
Because Heather mentioned they could maybe trace the bullet back.
yeah, that's how ballistics work.
Marty had a scuba knife. Donnie had his brother's military-style survivalist knife. Lisa told Marty when he worked out with Bobby at the YMCA that day, he should mention that Allie wanted to see him again. That way they could lure him back to Weston, making him think he could drive Allie's car and dog it out. And then he could dog out Allie. Whoa.
Dude, I've dogged out so much today, I'm tired. I'm so hungry. I've been dogging stuff out all day.
Allie informed her cousin Derek that they needed his help. He was tasked with rounding up some baseball bats. Lisa told Bobby that Lisa laid it on thick, bro. She told her cousin Derek about how Bobby had raped Allie, that they were going to teach him a lesson. So Derek called around to some of his gamer friends. But guess what? None of the video gamers had a baseball bat.
Oh, wow. Dude, I'm blown away. They're not into stuff you do outside.
But Lisa wouldn't take no for an answer. Heather said, quote, all day, Lisa is hounding about killing Bob. Bob has got to be dead. Bob has got to be dead and all this. We heard it all day. Through it all, Heather stayed quiet. She tried calling her boyfriend, again, begging him to pick her up, but he refused to drive 3 hours to Pembroke Pines, where Lisa lived. Donnie started getting anxious, too. With his birthday coming up, Donnie called a friend back in Palm Bay, a guy named Ronald McConnell.
Ronald McConnell?
Yeah.
Wow.
He told McConnell that his girlfriend and some other kids were planning to kill a guy. Donnie wanted to go to Palm Bay, but Allie was refusing to take him. That's when McConnell ordered Donnie to put Lisa on the phone and demanded, bring him home. He's going to be 18 tomorrow, and he doesn't need this shit.
And that's the best.
That's a good friend.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't need to go kill people with you, dude. He's trying to have a birthday tomorrow.
Yeah. Lisa and Allie tapped on Derek Kaufman's window late Wednesday night. It never occurred to them that a hitman would need permission to have company over at his parents' house.
So they're having to sneak around to make contact?
Yeah, with the hitman.
That's what his direction, tap on my window.
Yes.
Don't wake my mom up, dude.
Come to my window.
Crawl inside. I'll be there with a gun. Maybe, maybe not.
They told him they were ready. Derek was like, quote, I don't think this is a good idea, but you know I'll go.
Yeah, I'm a professional.
But I don't think this is a good idea. They drove to Hollywood and waited at Marty's house while he called Bobby. After arranging this meeting, Marty borrowed his mom's 1987 Mercury Topaz.
Nice.
Donnie and Heather sat in the back of Allie's Mustang, and they were introduced to Bobby as a couple because they didn't want Bobby to suspect that Donnie was with Allie. Bobby was never introduced to Derek Kaufman, who was riding in the Topaz with Marty, Lisa, and cousin Derek.
Dude, a Ford Topaz.
Got the two Dereks.
That's awesome. That's such a young people car back then.
It's a Mercury Topaz.
A Mercury Topaz, sorry.
This is Mama's car. That ain't a young people car. This is Mama's car.
Oh, well.
During the car ride, Bobby begins insulting Heather and Donnie, and he asks if Heather's a hooker like Allie. Allie said, quote, Marty tells me you guys have turned a few tricks yourselves.
Ooh.
Bobby angrily asked, is that what Marty Puccio says about me? And then went really quiet. Now, the whole time Bobby is driving this Mustang, he's weaving in and out of traffic, he's speeding, and Marty is having a hard time keeping up with him. Typical Bobby behavior.
Yeah, and he's also like basically insulting everyone in the car, including people he just met, because he's such an ass.
Around 30 minutes later, the 8 young people parked on a wide stretch of gravel that ran alongside several rock quarry lakes. By now, it was nearing midnight. Allie took Bobby by the arm, escorting him down the road. The others scrambled to remove their weapons. Donnie and Marty took out their knives, while Derek Kaufman gathered the baseball bat that they managed to find. Everyone was scared. No one knew the next move. Someone told Donnie that he should stab Bobby first. After all, it was his girlfriend, Allie, who had been raped by Bobby. Donnie didn't want to go first. Lisa snaps, quote, I want this fucker dead now.
Well, then go kill him, Lisa. I don't know what else to tell you, because we've been carrying on about this shit all day. The only thing I've gotten out of this is a nice Pizza Hut buffet, which I absolutely enjoyed, by the way.
But it's been on and on and on about killing him.
Well, yeah,
Lisa.
she talks the talk, but she's not willing to
Then kill
do
him.
it, right?
Do it. You go first, and I will be in the car waiting. So in court, maybe I'll get a lot less sentence.
Derek Kaufman told Heather that she and Donnie should go down by the water, kind of near Bobby, and ask if there were any alligators. That was the signal. Once she said the word alligators, they could attack him.
Okay.
As Bobby and Allie kind of stroll down by the water, Heather and Donnie walk up behind them in silence. The quietness is just creating a really tense atmosphere.
And Bobby's a goober. He doesn't have any idea what danger he's actually in.
Heather finally asked, "Are there any alligators in the water?" That's when Donnie broke free, lifting the blade in his hand, and stabbed Bobby in the back of the neck. The knife barely went in an inch. Bobby immediately grabs his neck and starts screaming, "I'm bleeding." That's when Marty runs toward him. Marty lunged the scuba knife into Bobby's belly, twisting the knife, and pulled so hard that part of his lower intestines was drawn out.
Oh my gosh.
Donnie is now stabbing him multiple times. Heather runs to the Mustang. She gets down into the floorboard of the back seat and starts covering her ears and kind of like rocking back and forth like she's completely freaking out.
Well, yeah, because when
Freaking out, man.
When you get in the heat of the moment, dude, no one's prepared for what they're actually been talking about. It's so serious and bad and dark.
This is bad. With a bloody face and chest, Bobby walks up the bank, like toward the vehicles, and then he just takes off sprinting. Derek Kaufman is screaming, "Bobby's getting away, he's getting away." So Marty and Derek Kaufman chase Bobby down with the knife and the bat. And at that point, Allie gets into the Mustang. Derek, cousin Derek, is in the Mustang as well. And he's telling Allie, like, go, just drive away. Like, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
He's not down for this. That's when she turns on the headlights and realizes that Bobby is lying in front of her car. And of course, Marty screams, like, turn off the headlights.
Right.
That's when Marty straddles Bobby and begins slamming his head into the ground, which fractures a vertebrae in Bobby's neck. Marty then takes the sharp knife edge and presses it down on Bobby's throat until it crushes his voice box.
Wow.
He also stabs Marty in the left upper chest, but Bobby is gurgling, still alive. Derek Kaufman then takes the baseball bat, raises it above his head, and in silence, there explodes like a wet thud sound.
Oh, God. Could you imagine?
No.
Hearing a baseball bat whack a person in the head? Just even thinking about it.
No, I always think of that scene in Casino
Yeah.
where they take, what's his name, little guy? You know
Pesci?
You know the guy? That guy.
Joe Pesci.
Yes, they take him out in that cornfield at the end of the movie with
Yeah.
his brother, Dominic, and they just like beat the fuck out of him. And that is just such a horrible, like, brutal scene.
God, a baseball bat.
Like, I can't even really, I mean, and you know, I watch some fucked up shit, but that scene has always, like, I can't watch it. It's like, it's too much.
I gotta say, in Inglourious Bastards, I was actually showing my mom she'd never seen.
Oh, the bear.
The bear scene, Jew bear.
The Jew bear.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yes.
Just the idea of being assaulted with just because I've swung a baseball bat many a time in my day, hitting baseballs, hitting trees or whatever. It's a pretty damn vicious weapon.
Yeah. No, it is.
It's if blunt force trauma was an object. You know what I'm saying? And I could never, ever imagine hitting a person with it.
No.
Gosh.
Derek Kaufman orders cousin Derek out of the car to help carry Bobby to the water. Kaufman took Bobby's wallet and tosses it into the canal, but Bobby's still alive. Lisa will later say that Bobby died apologizing. He was saying, "I'm sorry for whatever I did." Like, basically the whole time they're attacking him.
He is a dick. He is an ass, but this is brutal. This is totally brutal. And like you said, there was many other ways they could have handled this. They could have went to the authorities and reported these rapes and these assaults and all these things that Bobby's been doing to them. There was other ways to handle this. This is very dark. And it's very, very brutal what they're doing to Bobby.
Yeah, just don't fucking talk to him.
Jesus.
I mean, what are y'all doing?
What a dumbass plan, too. You're a bunch of idiots.
This is like one of the worst plans of all time. I mean, is it even really a plan?
It's not.
Well, cousin Derek, is shaking so badly that he drops Bobby. Marty comes over and helps Derek Kaufman roll Bobby into the water, and Bobby would remain in the water for 4 days. When Marty got home, he called Bobby's house and left a message. He said, "Bobby, this is Marty Puccio. I called you. You asked me to call you when I got home."
That's natural. What is he? Any politician giving a speech reading from a teleprompter?
I'm Ron Burgundy. Fred Kent picked up the phone to talk to Marty, and was like, "Hey, Marty," and Marty hung up before saying anything.
Oh.
Which Fred Kent thought was weird, and this just didn't sit well with him. He checked Bobby's room to see that his son was not home. The following morning, Fred checked again. Bobby's bed was empty. Fred assumed Bobby was up to something with the idiot down the street.
Yeah, you loser friends.
That day, Fred worked from home so he could kind of keep an eye on the house and confront Bobby when he finally did come crawling in.
He thought he might come slinking in, figuring his dad was going to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was not like Bobby to just not show up. So Fred starts having a bad feeling, and parents often know when something is not right. You know, your kid could be late 10 times, but that one time you get a bad feeling, you know something's just not right.
Well, that's because parents inherently share frequencies with their offspring.
When Fred went to Marty's house to inquire about his son, he knew something was wrong. Marty was behaving very strangely. Marty told Fred that Bobby had hooked up with, quote, "a country-looking girl who might have been part of a gang."
What?
He kept calling her like a country girl and was like some hillbilly girl.
That's part of a gang?
Yeah, I think she might be part of a gang.
Like a farmer gang?
Yes.
What is happening?
Yes.
Those descriptions do not go together. A country-looking girl who's
Instead of
part
throwing up gang signs, she's throwing up corn husks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. She's... What?
Do you think my tractor's sexy?
Oh, my God.
Well, after this, Fred Kent called the police. He knew something was wrong and that somehow Marty Puccio was involved. It was just written all over the boy's face.
Right.
Like, he just knew.
His whole demeanor, everything about him is letting him know that he's lying and he knows something.
Initially, Bobby Kent's disappearance was treated as a missing persons case. Fred then called Marty, explaining that the police were coming over and that maybe he should come over and talk to the police since he had seen his son leave with this country girl.
That's in a gang.
This is country girl in a gang.
This country gangster.
Her honky tonk was a badunkadunk or whatever.
Yeah, baby.
He'd seen it walking away.
I don't care much
can
for.
You recognize this honky tonk badunkadunk in a lineup?
I like it when you come by, and I love to watch you walk away. You know what I'm saying?
Marty told the police officer that Bobby had met a girl at Publix, this hillbilly girl, but failed to provide a description. The officer told Fred a report would be made and that he could call back if there was any more information available. So again, they're just kind of treating this like not a big deal. It's just some missing teenager.
She was 12 foot tall, and she was kind of scary.
She looked like the Jolly Green Giant.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
She was a country girl.
But she's a country girl through and through because she drove a pickup truck.
She was a redneck woman. She wasn't a high-class broad.
No, and she had a bumper sticker.
She was a product of her raisin. She said, "Hey, y'all," and "yeehaw." And I'm pretty sure she had Christmas lights up on her porch all year long.
And she had one of those pickup trucks where it has all the like girl stickers on them. Like silly boys, girls have trucks too, things like that. Oh, don't you love that?
Move, bitch, get out the way.
Yeah. You always revert back to ludicrous, and the moving bitches and getting them out of your way.
That's my jam.
Because you are an aggressive person.
That is my theme song.
You've got to get off those steroids.
Me?
Bobby.
I am Bobby. I'm Bobby Hill. Leave me alone.
See, it's all come full circle. Damn it.
By 3 p.m., Allie, Donnie, and Heather returned to Palm Bay. And it didn't take long for Allie to start asking her mother these really weird hypothetical questions about, like, what should you do if you witness a crime and don't report it? Like, what could happen?
Yeah. I would get very nervous if my kids started asking me these questions.
So in the meantime, Cousin Derek goes to the mall to play Mortal Kombat and spills every detail of the murder to some kid named Terry that he barely knows.
Some kid's watching him play the video game, some little kid.
Yeah, this kid Terry suggests they call a smarter kid named Herbert Williams to ask his opinion on what Derek should do.
Terry's the little kid?
Yeah.
Terry's
like, we should call Herbert. He's a smarter kid than me.
Herbert gets good straight A's. He'll know what to do.
Herbert Williams recommended that Derek tell his parents, for moral support, and that they could help him figure out what to do.
He is a smart kid.
He is a smart kid.
Herbert's got it figured out.
Big Herb. Allie was growing increasingly worried. Heather mentioned the police might be able to tell what cars were involved by the tire tracks.
Yeah.
Heather's kind of like the only one here. It seems like she got a fucking brain
But
cell.
no, I like how Heather's pointing out all the forensic sciences after the fact.
That's when Allie went to get her 4 relatively new tires replaced.
Ah. Yeah.
So they go get new tires.
Yeah, because you can have the wear patterns. It's much like a shoe sole. Shoe soles. They can tell by the wear on your
So on
tires.
Saturday, Lisa didn't want to be alone, so she went over to her friend's house. While there, Lisa told her friend Claudia about the murder. Then Lisa begs Claudia to give her a ride out to Weston so she can check on Bobby's body and possibly move it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
This Claudia girl's like, no.
Only if I can dog out your friend Allie's Mustang on the way out there.
So after they exchange a few harsh words, Lisa leaves and she's pissed off that Claudia won't help her. But Claudia's got to get to her job at Pizza Hut.
I don't have time to help
True
you with
story.
the murder that you did right now. Okay, I have to
They're
go
just
to work.
out telling everybody.
They're telling every
They're
single
telling everybody and their mama.
they're out here saying that you guys killed Bobby because you've told every single one of you has told multiple people.
You done told Terry
And the little
and Herbert
Herbert knows all about it.
and Claudia and Susan.
I bet Herbert took notes.
Finally, Allie came out of her room with Heather and Donnie at her heels, and she relayed to her mother, Virginia, what had happened with Bobby Kent, not implicating themselves. She said they had witnessed it, and there was a hitman involved. Allie said she needed an apartment, a place to hide. And her mother was like, so all this is so you can get an apartment? She told her, no, you're not getting an apartment.
Ah, she thought that was the...
Yeah, so like instead of taking this seriously, she thinks that Heather just wants to get an apartment and is making up this story to get an apartment.
Okay, that makes sense, Mom.
Are these parents just dumb or totally checked out?
Well,
Like at this point, I don't know about Allie's parents.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wow, that's such
Okay.
that's a crazy story for you to come up with to try to get an apartment. No. And just leave the room when you're trying to get them to help you with the murder.
So as I mentioned, Claudia, who worked at Pizza Hut, used a payphone while she was at work to call a hotline for runaways. She told the dispatcher about a girl she knew who was involved in Bobby Kent's murder. But what she didn't know is that the hotline was connected to a 911 call center.
Yeah.
30 minutes after hanging up from the call, detectives showed up at the Pizza Hut. So they've got a missing kid, a rumored murder. I mean, it could be nothing.
Right.
But they're there to talk to Claudia. Now, the conspirators confessed to various other people related to the crime. Finally, law enforcement came knocking. Lisa confessed to her mother, Maureen, who told her sister, who is Derek's mom,
who put an announcement in the classifieds of the newspaper to let the rest of the community know.
So Lisa tells her mom, and then, of course, her
Well, yeah.
mom's going to call Derek's mom,
Well,
her
that-
sister.
yeah,
To
and
be
so-
like, our knucklehead kids did this thing.
What do you think about this? I understand that.
So the women decided their best option was to speak to their brother, the one who could, beat somebody's ass.
Oh, okay.
But also because he had connections with the Broward County Sheriff's Office. So Detective Frank Ilaraza was dispatched to meet Derek, cousin Derek, who in turn showed him where Bobby Kent's body was located. And it didn't take long for these 7 participants to be arrested.
For this very sophisticated crime to be unraveled, right? All they had to do was go ask Terry and Herbert down at the Walmart.
Of the 7 defendants, 5 made statements incriminating themselves. Only 2 had not confessed, Marty Puccio and Heather Swallers. It was an incredibly vicious crime. The accused seemed to exhibit a mix of apathy and arrogance, which detectives found disturbing. It was as if these kids didn't get
The seriousness of what they
No,
did.
not at all. Their parents hired expensive lawyers. who seemed to be pressuring the DA because they were getting pressured from their clients, right?
Yeah.
The parents expected their kids to get off without any punishments. And the district attorney kept hearing phrases like, they're just kids, or they were running with the bad crowd.
Yeah.
And the DA's like, running with the bad crowd? They are the bad crowd. Like, what are you talking about?
They premeditated murder one, bud. This isn't like throwing rocks through their neighbor's shed or something. Come on.
Yeah, the district attorney didn't want to cut a deal with any of these kids. Lisa Connelly's attorney, in particular, was trying hard to get a deal for her. Lisa had been the mastermind, the catalyst behind the murder. She didn't deserve a deal. Marty Puccio stabbed his best friend even when Bobby Kent was pleading for his life. Derek Kaufman had crushed his face with a bat. Donnie Simonik had stabbed first. Even Allie Willis lured him out. So why would anyone on earth offer any of these defendants anything but the death penalty? I mean, that's the district attorney's opinion on this.
Well, yeah, his view is, as silly as they all seem, this is just a bunch of bad kids who've done a terrible thing and now they need to pay.
Heather and cousin Derek were arguably the only two who were not seriously involved, even though they had played their parts. They were the two who had just sort of been along for the ride. It would be more difficult to sway a jury to convict them in a death penalty case.
Right. They didn't actually take part in the physical assault and murder of Bobby.
Even with Florida's tough talk about cracking down on crime, the district attorney, whose name was Donnelly, knew a jury could easily be manipulated if they felt sorry for the perpetrators. They were, after all, middle-class white kids from good homes. These brutal, soulless murderers could go free if a jury felt even a bit of compassion for them.
Well, yeah, all you need is that one flicker of doubt, right?
And many of the jurors would have the same vacant, baggy pants-wearing teenagers at home. So the DA was really worried that the jury would see their own kids in these kids.
And not even be able to assign the responsibility for what they've done, because they're going to kind of feel bad for them. You know what happens? These high-powered lawyers, especially, they're going to come in there. They're going to have pigtails and they're going to have their cute little clothes on. They do this all the time with defendants. Horrible people who've done terrible things. They'll cut their hair off and cover up their tattoos and have a button-up shirt and make you feel bad for them.
Get you a cross.
Get you a cross.
Get you a chain with a cross on it.
Yes, you can clutch.
Yeah.
Talking about Jesus has done told me he is okay with what I did. I done asked for forgiveness.
A traditional tactic would be to get the kids to turn on each other by offering them deals, letting some blab on the others, and then taking a few convictions. Of the 7 perpetrators, 3 will be in Florida prisons for life. So I know this has been a long episode, so I wasn't going to go too much into the trial, but Marty was found guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder and was given the death penalty.
Wow.
Now, this was overturned in 1997, and he's now serving a life sentence at the Everglades Correctional Institution. He's found religion in prison.
Jesus hangs out there.
And apparently the daughter that he shares with Lisa visits her dad quite often, and she has a social media presence, and she talks about her dad and that he's a really good guy now.
Well, yeah, I mean, they just got caught up in the moment. I really don't think they're, complete psychopath. They all got, this is that group thing that happens, or, couples that get into trouble, or best friends that if you removed them away from each other, they would have never done this. And but there's always a catalyst, and you had a good point on that. There's always someone who drives these situations, almost a leader of the group. And I think those leaders oftentimes deserve the most responsibility for what happened.
Donald Simonik was found guilty of second-degree murder, but at his sentencing in 1995, the judge chose to sentence him as if he had been charged with first-degree murder. So he's serving a life sentence at Okeechobee Correctional Institution.
Damn.
Derek Kaufman, the hitman, was found guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. He was given life in prison plus 25 years, and he is at the Marion Correctional Institution. Lisa Connelly served less than 9 years despite the fact that she was the driving force behind the murder. She was released in February of 2004, And Lisa and Marty had a daughter that was born in jail pending Lisa's trial. So they now have an adult daughter.
Okay, so there you go. The person who, in my opinion, pushed the rest to do it, even when they faltered.
It was her idea.
Even when they were like, they're over it. And if they'd been left to their own devices at those points, multiple times during this situation, they would have went their separate ways and forgot about this silly thing they thought about one time. She was the driving force, the manipulator, the catalyst of this entire situation.
I'm just stunned.
And she got the least time, for the most part.
Allie Willis served less than 7 years. She was released in 2001. Derek DeZverko, cousin Derek, only served 5 years. And Heather Swallers, who cooperated with police, was released after serving 3 years in prison.
Wow.
Yeah. So my resources for today's episode: Jim Schultz's Bully, A True Story of High School Revenge. The 2001 film Bully, directed by Larry Clark, which is very closely tied to the book. And I watched an episode of American Justice.
Yeah.
And an episode of Forensic Files and a show called Murder Among Friends.
Now,
and I combed through a lot of old newspapers. And this case has gotten a lot of coverage over the years.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people out there,
it's a very sensational story,
have at least heard of this case. And now Heather pointed out I was able to take in the movie Bully, the 2001 film. Was it 2001? And she kept pointing out the entire time, if you want to get a real feel for how this went down and the different players, that movie's great for that. Because she kept pointing out, this is dead on. This is verbatim, basically, these scenes or this dialogue. And so it's a really good way to get a feel for how silly this whole thing was, but scary and dark and brutal at the same time.
I think it's a good film, and Larry Clark, he's a bit of a controversial director. He's known for the Kids movie that came out in the 90s. So he's not a director who's afraid of like pushing the envelope a little bit.
Yeah.
And this movie's pretty raw. I hadn't seen it like since it had, come out. I remember going to the theater to watch that movie back in the day, at the indie, like the art theater or whatever.
It was raw.
And I hadn't seen it in 23 years,
7,500 years, because we're old.
It's true.
But no, it's very raw, and I think it gives a good taste and a feel for just the mentality and where these kids were in their head, and it helps you understand how they got this far down this road. But there's one real exception I take with that movie, and it was the fact that Lisa was known to be, a bigger girl and put down for being fat and all that, and the actress they got to play her was not fat.
Not at all.
Not fat.
And so
when only was she not
fat,
when
they would call her fat,
a fat bitch.
I was like,
yeah.
This okay.
Not only was she not fat, she was on the skinny side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe that was because this director was real big on the realness, rawness of his movie, and a lot of nudity in the movie. And I feel like he didn't want to film a larger girl nude. And I take exception to that. Just it's no different in other media and things I've seen in my life where a person's being misrepresented in the media or form of it because they are whatever, ugly, fat, whatever's considered by society. And I really hate that. And if you're going to do that, you're going to have to remove her being referred to as a fat bitch or all this, because it don't make sense when it's some little skinny girl, dude. That really pisses me off.
Well, no, I think it really showed the importance of that is showing that Lisa was someone who was very insecure.
And that's why she needs to be played by
body issues.
Yes.
She had low self-esteem.
Yes.
And it's because of those reasons that she fell into this incredibly abusive relationship with Marty. And was just pushed beyond any boundary of what is a normal, healthy, functioning relationship.
And I agree.
And went along willingly with these things because she was so desperate for a boyfriend and for approval and had such low self-esteem. And so, I feel like that's important.
That is important.
It was important. It should have been an important part of the movie, and it was not.
Right. Yes. And to help, bring that to light or put it on the screen, you needed something. He tried really, it seems like, according to you, to stay true to the story and true to all the players and stuff. It was just that one thing. And that's obviously entertainment, Hollywood pressures. We know how they do. And I really bothered me because that is an important part of the story.
There's a lot of bush in this movie.
There's so much bush. Can we talk about I don't remember there was that much bush back in the 90s. It's like, did they...
How much bush were you seeing in the 90s?
Did they add
You were
bush?
young.
Well, yeah. I know. I wasn't that... I mean... I wasn't a cute baby.
You were too young to be seeing a bunch of bush.
Well, I'm just saying.
There was excessive bush in the movie.
I think there was extra bush added.
They kept. It was like he was intentionally just shooting
bush.
Bush, yes.
Male and female bush everywhere.
It was a lot,
dude. It was. I think it was extra bush.
It was like almost offensive.
I think he's like,
bush.
can we get more bush?
It was an offensive amount of bush.
It was like cowbell. Can we
Okay.
get more bush in this scene?
Yeah, if I wanted that much bush, I would watch Boogie Nights.
Oh God, we said bush a lot.
Well, he was president during that time, so.
Great. All right, Heather, thank you for that big story. This has been our coverage of Bully.
Bush.
And I appreciate you. And that was a lot, but you crammed it in there, as usual. You crammed it all in there.
Yeah, stick it up in there.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Now you just want to get enemas out. Oh, my. I got to go.
I gotta do some filmmaking.
Yeah. I'm going to make you a film.
Bye.
Bye.